It's pretty bad when you interviewing someone, you have to basically treat them like a child. Okay, you have to talk down to them like they're 5.
Yeah.
Okay, now listen, Jimmy. In a conversation, you have to let one person talk and then the other person talks. All right, don't just talk over them. That's how you have a conversation with an adult. You understand, Jimmy?
Why are you asking questions if you don't want the answers?
Because he wants the ability to dunk on him and call him evil, right-wing, fake centrist grifter.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, so you concede then that I talk about housing. Do you know that in my first ARC speech, I was speaking to an audience of conservatives, including many. Hold on, so don't interrupt. I was speaking to an audience of conservative. Hold on.
How do you propose?
Ending corruption in the planning system, making sure.
Bro, there's 1.2 million plots of land that are approved and ready to build housing on, but the housing developers don't build the housing.
You like that? Every time he starts to talk, this Jimmy guy immediately interrupts him. And he's like, has a pre-prepared talking point that he's going to shove in here. It's like, let me ask you a question. And then if within 0.2 seconds of you answering the question, you don't give the answer that I want you to give, I'm going to interrupt you and give you my answer.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. He doesn't really care what his answer is.
Yes. Don't even ask the question at that point then.
It's not a conversation.
Because it speculates an asset.
I just started answering.
Okay, sorry.
He's like, the answer is capitalism. Capitalism bad.
Right.
You've got me revved up. I'll relax.
So let's just come back to the trans thing.
No, do the housing, bro.
Spoiler, he will not chill out. Pretty interesting. There's this guy here. I was unfamiliar with this YouTuber. His name is Jimmy the Giant. Now,
Jimmy the Grifter.
Jimmy the Grifter. Now, ironically, right before he was on Triggernometry, I did see that he was on the Deprogram podcast.
Oh, okay.
The Deprogram podcast is the socialist podcast that Second Thought and the other genocidal psychos that were cheering on October 7th have. And on that podcast, it turns out that this guy that Konstantin Kisin is talking to is a socialist and wants to spread socialism and revolutionary mentality across the population.
Ooh, fascinating.
Nice fellow. Now, this guy, he made a video where he called Konstantin a centrist grifter. So Konstantin said, hey, why don't you come on the show? They have a conversation about it. And in the conversation, he gets completely annihilated and looks like a big idiot.
True, but he just goes with it, which is that a good move? Is that a good strategy? He keeps calling him a grifter, and he's like, yeah, I am a grifter, basically. So I'm like, oh, okay. Aren't we all grifters? Let's all just be grifters together.
Well, he's one of those people that strikes me as he's like, oh, I'm like used to be a grifter and I do clickbait and all this other stuff. So he just assumes everyone else in the world is like he is or like
is a grifter.
Was. Yes.
Well, but he made a video calling out grifters as something you shouldn't be, though. So what exactly is happening here?
He's a reformed grifter, you see.
I mean, he admits that the video he did is a grift.
Well, he's a grifter for good, so it's okay.
That unfortunately, you hit the nail on the head there. That's the problem. That is the problem. You get a get out of jail free card if you're on the left and you're a grifter. Yes. You're like, but look, the great are good.
The great are good.
Yes. All right. Okay. Shall we get into it?
Yes. So I'll play a little intro and then we'll jump ahead here.
Yeah. Called The Rise of the Middle Class Grifter, in which I feature quite prominently.
You know, he did put him in the thumbnail, as you just saw there. And he only talks about Konstantin for like 30 seconds in the video too. Just kind of obnoxious. They'd be like, why you put me in the thumbnail? I'm like barely even in it.
Yeah, because he's a grifter, obviously. Yes.
When have I said that the fall of the West, or we've done a video to say that the fall of the West is because of feminism?
I have no idea.
Well, you just said that. Are you not aware that there are many, many different types of feminism?
It's like super feminism, super duper feminism? Or?
How much is net zero going to cost?
What do you mean?
How much will net zero cost?
But you know it's going to save money.
You just said it's going to make us money. You don't know how much? Okay, cool. We'll leave it there. When have I said I'm a supporter of Donald Trump?
Not a supporter of Donald Trump. So
you just keep saying these things.
Yeah, I clearly don't understand your channel very well.
You've made the claim that I defend Enoch Powell. When have I done that?
I don't know, you tell me. It was a joke, wasn't it?
Oh, no. Not the joke defense.
The joke defense. I thought we were on a
defense.
comedy show, okay? What's going on here?
Don't do the joke defense. Never.
I thought comedy was legal again in Trump's America.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so let me jump ahead. Literally the first 20-ish minutes of this are just kind of his backstory. He used to do parkour content and then somehow turned into doing political content. Far left socialist content, as unfortunately he got sucked down the alt-left rabbit hole.
It's funny, he kind of admits in here that there's only so much you can do with parkour, and he covered it from every single angle. So he's kind of dragged into politics because politics is infinite, right? Politics is like the news. It's just infinite cycle.
Well, he said that the only way that you could make money doing parkour back in the day was by teaching other people to do parkour. So it's one of those like your philosophy degree situations.
Oh, wow.
Where you're just perpetuating the cycle, essentially.
Talk about a grift.
Yes. But okay, here, let's jump into this.
To the system we're in now, which doesn't seem to work for working people. It seems like the average person suffers under this scenario.
Okay, so that's kind of your political journey. And so you made this video called "The Rise of the Middle Class Grifter," in which you feature, I'm trying to think off the top of my head, Douglas Murray, Sir Neil Ferguson, me, some online creators like Carl Benjamin and Paul Joseph Watson.
Yeah.
So what is a grifter?
It's a good question. I think I realized that we will do this thing left and right, and I think we're all kind of playing into a dumb thing here. And I kind of realized one of the main critiques I had in that video was effectively play the idea, not the man, or something like that, or play the man, not the ball. What's the expression?
Play the ball, not the man.
Yeah. And so people were saying I was critiquing people as opposed to their ideas, which I think is a fair critique.
No, I've got no problem with that. People learn.
Yeah.
I just want to point out his demeanor here is completely forgiving. Like he's ready to just cave to Konstantin, turn over a new leaf, and be on good terms with him. Do you get that impression as well?
No.
Obviously he's not, because Konstantin is going to go at him with both barrels, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it seems like it's harder, obviously, to say these serious accusations when you're sitting in front of the person, right? Yes. I guess he could be nice on the podcast. They could have a nice, friendly interaction. Then he's going to go back to his channel and just completely savage him, right? That's probably the play he's going for.
Well, maybe I should try to find it. So earlier in the conversation, he brings up something about the environment. And then Konstantin is like, oh, I don't agree with this assessment, but we should just move on because, we don't have time to talk about it. And Jimmy gets like super kind of triggered, like, no, you're running away from the topic. How dare you? How dare you do this? And that happens before the situation.
Right.
So to me, that
is a little tense exchange. So I do agree.
It makes it seem like he's ready to jump and pounce at any second. It's kind of the way I interpret it.
Yeah, I wonder if this interaction could have gone differently if Konstantin didn't go after him with both barrels and like turn him into a ally, so to speak. But it probably is bullshit. He probably just pretend to be nice and then go back to his YouTube channel and start fucking talking mad shit. That seems to be what most people do.
Well, considering that this guy was on the Deprogram podcast. On it, he talked very briefly about going on. It was before this, so he talks about how he's going to be on Konstantin's podcast and talked about how Konstantin sucks.
Oh, he did? So he's already talking shit.
Yeah, he's like, oh, he's one of these like, centrist, not a centrist types. He totally is awful. Blah,
Which
blah,
is
blah,
just,
blah.
That's a meme. My God. That's such the dumbass meme.
Of course.
Yeah.
So, right here. So here, maybe I should play this part in the beginning here, just so you can kind of see, because it does, I think, change the tone of the conversation. So up until this point, the conversation's been completely cordial. sort of like 15 minutes into this.
Yeah, he's just telling his backstory.
Like, yeah.
His political
as opposed
backstory.
to demand side, which would be make customers and consumers wealthier, and they will buy more things. So we went on this experiment, and there's a ton of videos if you type in like Britain's failed privatization experiment, where we are a complete anomaly. And so when we're going through our lives and we see that our like train tickets are more expensive, our water's really low quality, that we're paying more than anyone else, our energy bills, and we're trying to find answers to that, you cannot answer that without looking at the fact that we've privatized all of these things, and they've all got worse and worse.
I mean, our energy bills are high because of the net zero policies the government.
Do you like, okay, all right, so this is, get the book out.
Okay.
So what sort of research have you actually done into like renewables specifically?
I've done quite a lot of research, and we've had a number of people on the show. Most recently, Matt Ridley, who we talked to about net zero. I don't know if you caught that episode. I don't want to get into this part of it right now. I was just throwing that out.
But you can't throw it and run it. You start throwing a grade and run away, because that's a big point. That's
no problem. I'll take it back and let's just pretend I never said anything. So,
no, I can't do that.
Yeah, you can, because I don't want to go down this rabbit hole, because it's going to waste a lot of time.
It's very important, and that feels like a bit of a. You've said something your audience will now take as fact.
We'll cut it out.
That's ridiculous.
The reason I'm saying this, I don't want to get bogged down in this particular conversation about energy prices. It's not really relevant.
It is very relevant. If you want to answer, if I'm trying to make my case that privatization has caused our cost of living to be higher than everyone else.
Fine,
and then
granted.
Okay, well, let me continue.
No, let's not continue, because I don't want to get bogged down in this part of the conversation.
It's cowardly, Konstantin.
It's nothing to do with cowardice.
It's a little bit cowardly.
It's nothing to do with cowardice.
A little bit. If you can't engage on that topic.
You've got to let me finish the point I'm making before you call it cowardly.
But it is a little bit. A little bit, tiny bit. Except a little bit.
You got to let me finish what I'm saying before you call it cowardly. So it's not that I don't want to have this discussion. It's that this discussion is not the reason I brought you on the channel, right? I brought you on to talk about the video you made in which you called me and a bunch of other people middle-class grifters, right? And I'm just exploring your perspective before we get into that. Now, I agree with you. I shouldn't have jumped in with my opinion, which is why I offer either for us to edit it or for us to forget I ever said anything, right? Because I don't want to go down this sidetrack and spend 20 minutes on that, because we don't have the time. Are you happy with that?
Not necessarily. I think it's very important to talk about net zero.
I'm sure. No, I don't disagree. I think it's an important conversation, just not for this particular discussion.
Okay, if I can trade someone you should speak to, and you commit to speaking to that person.
I don't commit to speaking to anybody, but you can definitely give me a name.
Okay, cool.
So who is it?
No Justice MTG.
No Justice MTG. Who's that?
Streamer.
Okay, cool. I'll look into the streamer. Would you like us to retain the section or to remove it?
No, keep it. For sure, keep it.
No problem.
So, it seems pretty. And remember, up until this point, he's just been kind of giving his backstory here. They haven't really got into any of the political conversation, and so he does seem to be coming on pretty strong, in my opinion, from the get-go.
Yeah. Yes, that was a very strong interaction. The irony here is so epic, because most of this conversation, he's accusing him of avoiding anything of substance, right? He wants to talk about energy policy. Well, how well is a video on energy policy going to do versus a video calling all the right-wing grifters? You tell me, Sitch.
Right.
Irony of ironies. Oh my God, this guy has no substance.
Right. And they go through it when he goes through the accusations. And I mean, we've both been in those situations where you're interviewing someone, you're talking to someone, you say something, and you're like, oh no, this is going to be an hour-long conversation if we go down this pathway. And I have a lot of other things I much prefer to talk about than like this side quest. And almost every time that's happened in a conversation that we've had, are like, well, that's like, and one of us will say, oh, like, that's a really long conversation, not really want to talk about it here. Let's kind of move on. We like, no one usually has a problem with that. They're like, okay, like they understand that that's a long conversation and they're generally willing to move on. I don't think I've ever interacted with someone that had this sort of reaction where they're like, no, we have to fight on this. How dare you?
Yeah, totally. He puts the thumb screws to him. So fair point, fair counterpoint.
Okay.
Critique.
No, I've got no problem with that. People if you are a public person, people will criticize. It's natural.
But I think,
I'm just asking what a grifter is.
Yeah, I think what's a grifter? I think what I was doing was calling people grifters if I disagree with them, and you guys do the same, where you call us woke, indoctrinating libs. And I think it was playing in, to be honest, to a pretty reductive way of looking at politics.
It is weird though that he's basically very early in the conversation, even after that interaction, seeming to willingly concede that he's full of shit.
Yes.
Like right in the beginning of the conversation, is like, oh, you know, maybe I shouldn't have attacked the people, said the ideas. Maybe I was using, or he's kind of saying like, I'm full of shit, but you're also full of shit, so that makes it okay. Like, yeah, I just call people I don't like grifter, but you just call people you don't like woke. And it's like, no, there's lots of people that I'm sure Konstantin doesn't like that he wouldn't call woke because they wouldn't fit within the category of what you would describe as woke.
Grifter means dishonest. Woke doesn't mean dishonest.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's just a giant difference. It's not a 1-for-1.
No, not at all. Not at all.
So instead of...
Are you taking it back? Is that what you're saying?
No, I think you're a grifter, but okay. I don't think...
What the fuck? He's tired on both sides of his mouth here. What is that? What the fuck is he talking about?
Well, he framed it as him conceding, and there's no way he's going to concede. That's why this is great. This is just all id. It's all just emotional comebacks.
Right, but Jimmy himself framed it like he was conceding, and then you're like, oh, so you're conceding, and he's like, no, I'm doubling down. It's like,
he just can't.
What are you doing?
He can't call it those words. Okay. He wants to concede, but he wants enough wiggle room that he can go back to his audience and say, well, I didn't really give anything. I didn't give in, right?
Oh, gotcha.
But as soon as you frame it as you're giving in, then it's like, no, of course I'm not giving in.
So you shouldn't ask
if
he's
piece
conceding.
Of shit.
You should ask if you're unseating K.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah. Give him the pig Latin, right?
Yes.
It's productive.
So what is a grifter?
It's someone who effectively sells bullshit like a snake oil salesman, who instead of genuinely
liar, dishonest person,
engaging with topics, they see that outrage sells and reactionary content sells, and if I follow that, I'll make lots of money. Doesn't
confession right here by projection. It's exactly what's going on. He just confessed to his whole routine.
Sure. Yeah. Well, no, I mean, I think this guy believes his weirdo socialist stuff. Now he does frame it in a way. But he also
knows that outrage sells. Come on.
Yes.
Come on now. Don't give him any room here, any wiggle room.
No. Because I think it's an important distinction. There's like the full-on grifter who does like that definition you gave for grifter. I agree with. That's definitely like the top level definition. Someone who doesn't really follow the principles or have an ideology. They're just going where the money is. But there's another layer of grifter. Maybe we need a different term for it, where the person, I think they do at their core believe whatever the political ideology is that they're talking about. But like Candace Owens, I think is a perfect example of this. I think she does believe a lot of the crazy shit she says, but she knows how to talk about it or frame it in a super incendiary way in order to get as like much clicks and views as possible.
Yeah, but that framing is going to actually tangibly hurt your ability to persuade people on the policy. So how much can you really say they're an honest interlocutor, right?
No. People like that are not honest.
But yes, that's where the grifter charge comes in.
I do think there is a difference between a person who has no beliefs and a person who does have beliefs, but is still being hyperbolic or dishonest in how they frame those beliefs.
What about a person who has the beliefs, but goes about in a way that those beliefs will have no possibility of ever being implemented, and they know it?
Well, if they knew it, then yeah, that would be more griftery, I would say.
Yeah, I think that's the case in most of these situations.
Maybe.
I think they care more about the incendiary, making money, making a huge reputation, being accosting people, being known for that. It's kind of a bullying strength perspective. And, they know that that's never going to sell their policy. So but they do it because they're more interested in their own gratification than they are in the actual policy. And that's why I say, well, it doesn't matter if they believe those policies were implemented. It would be good for society if they're going about their behavior in a way that they know those policies are never going to be implemented.
Yes.
So.
Oh, okay. I think I got it. we can call people that are just have no ideology grifters. We can call the other category who believe it but are going about it just to make money, even if it's self-defeating. Why don't we call them propagandists?
Okay.
That makes sense.
Doesn't embody the fact that they're just, it doesn't embody the dishonesty. Because I don't know how you can support something that you are going to be doing tangible damage to your cause. How are you a part of a cause that you're damaging constantly? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like a propagandist would actually be doing some, working for the cause, right?
Right. Thank you so much, Grassroots Hegemon, for the 50 gifted memberships. Thank you.
Yes. Yeah, I saw those going through. That was very kind of you. Welcome new members. Lots of new people.
Doesn't mean that they don't believe in these ideas. It doesn't mean that they don't think that. Really, some of the best grifters are true believers who really believe in their shit. I really think Russell Brand really believes everything he says.
Well, that's one area we disagree on. But
you think Russell Brand is like lying? Like you think he doesn't?
I don't think he's a liar, but from having spoken to people who know, he is not remotely.
Do you think Alex Jones is a liar? Do you think he really believes it?
Yeah. He didn't even let him fucking answer.
I know.
What the hell?
Constantly, yeah.
Don't you want to know the answer? I mean, I would kind of want to know the answer.
Mm-hmm.
What does Russell... What? He didn't even finish.
But hold on a second. Yeah. If someone is just saying their opinion... that you don't agree with, that makes them a grifter?
I think if your job is, you're a political pundit, you're a political podcast, if your job is to follow politics, and like I went through your channel, like I was sort of analysing.
Can we just stick with the definition of grifter?
Yeah, someone who sells outrage, monetizes it.
Wait, what if someone just says their opinion about things that they are not happy with? Like, for example, if someone thinks that, I don't know, the rape of British girls by grooming gangs.
I wouldn't say a grifter. I would say, so if we look at your channel, I look through like about 222 videos, and I put them in two categories. So I put them as culture war topics and material topics. So a culture war topic would be topics like trans, woke, diversity, DI, the West, like, the fall of the West, the left, vaccine,
that's a culture war topic.
Migrants.
All of those can be categorized as material topics too. I fucking hate the fact that these people are so dim, they don't realize that parents are worried about their kids getting a false diagnosis of gender dysphoria from some idiot.
Mm-hmm.
How is that not material? That definitely affects your material conditions massively.
Right.
Fucking kills me. They have this myth that people are they're doing it because they hate the gays. That's why they're doing it, because they hate the transes. And it's just a culture war topic so that they can hate on somebody. When they're completely in that camp because all they want to do is hate on conservatives.
Mm-hmm.
It depends how you frame it, for sure. If the fall of the West is because of feminists, for sure, that's cultural.
When have we...
The fall of the West, not a material topic, Sitch. That's not going to affect your material conditions at all.
Well, I'm glad I saw that he was on Deprogram, because it kind of, he should have said in this conversation, because it really puts his framework into light. He is a socialist. So he's going to make the kind of BS, like economic argument that unless you're talking about eating the rich and all these economic conditions, everything else, if you're not talking about class issues, everything else is bullshit. That's his like dumb fuck socialist perspective.
Yeah, it's all about money. It's all about how much money you have.
And it's even kind of on that, like, I don't know when this guy became a socialist, but it even kind of that framing feels dishonest, because a big part of the political conversation 4 years ago, or the last, I should say 8 years, was people using the socialist framework to make cultural arguments. And then suddenly now that sort of all those arguments are feminism and BLM and a lot of trans issues and a lot of the woke issues, now that those arguments are starting to lose a lot of public favor, I feel like you have a bunch of socialists running around now saying like, oh, woke isn't socialist, it's actually liberal. Like they're trying to do this nonsense. Hassan has literally said garbage like this.
Really? Wow.
Yes.
Oh,
and they're trying to like pivot away from the culture issues. Like now that they're getting BTFO'd on the internet about a lot of the cultural issues, they're trying to pivot away from the cultural issues that they've been pushing for the last 10 years and act like you're a bad person or you're wrong for talking about the same cultural issues that they've been pushing for a decade.
They're like, holy shit, we made socialism look bad.
Yes.
Done a video, the fall.
You have loads of videos called The West or something.
No, hold on a second.
Okay. So let's remove.
Hold on a second. Yeah. When have we done a video saying that the fall of the West is because of feminism?
I don't know.
So these are you just said that. Yeah. When have we done a video?
Are you trying to reject this concept here? What I'm looking for.
Jimmy, listen.
Remove the West.
This is going to work a lot better if you listen to what I'm saying and then respond to it. So you just said that we've done videos including about the West, which is a culture war topic. And I said, why is it a culture war topic? And you said, well, it is if you say it's because of feminism. When have we? When have we? Hold on, let me finish the question.
It'll be the fall of the West.
Jimmy, you got to listen to the question and then answer.
For sure.
So listen to the question and answer it. When have I said that the fall of the West, or we've done a video to say that the fall of the West is because of feminism?
I have no idea.
Well, you just said that.
No. I said that you've done 22 videos that have the West as
you said title. 222, but we've never said it's because of feminism.
I didn't say you did 222 videos about the West.
When have we said it's because of feminism?
I have no idea.
But you just said that.
Have you ever done that?
No.
You're good at this.
I know I am.
You're very good at this. You don't engage with what we're talking about. You're framing.
You just said that the West being in decline is a culture war topic. I asked you why. I don't consider that a culture war topic. That's a very real topic.
Okay, so I'll just concede it. You can have it.
Great.
Okay, so 22 videos on the West. 3 of them were neutral, so like not saying the decline, the fall.
Okay.
The left, 28. Vaccine, 7, all of which are skeptic.
This is a problem. This is why so much of the conversation is kind of framed the way it is on the internet is people, especially like Konstantin and us and other people, they all get shoved into the box of that phrase that you always hate, the constellation of values box. And so a bunch of prior assumptions are made about all these people. So if you have Konstantin is like, oh, I don't like woke stuff, or talks about the fall of the West, then he's like, oh, well, obviously he's he must be like one of these people that blames, women for everything. And that's sort of the framework that he believes. And then when it comes out and you're challenged on it and you're like, well, actually, I don't believe that, he just immediately crumbles, pivots away from it. And it's like, well, no. I didn't say that, blah, 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 even though he just said it 2 seconds ago.
Right. Yeah. That's unfortunate, and even he's just going back to thumbnails and titles. This is all they're capable of really engaging with.
Yes.
It's the gripe that they have is your content isn't you're not covering the right topics, the topics that they approve of, the approved topics.
You're covering topics that makes me and my quote side look bad. So I would prefer if you would stop it and cover topics that makes the side I don't like look bad.
Yes, exactly.
In the way that I want. And the irony too about the whole, like when they complain about Fall of the West is that is the entire framework that the far left socialists like this guy, almost every video that they're going to do or their way they're going to look at the world is about that the West is falling. They just don't call it Fall of the West because to them that's like a dog whistle for racism. They call it like the fall of capitalism or the imperial core or something else.
Yeah, it's something good they are striving for.
Yes.
It's like, why isn't he not looking at those Fall of the West videos and thinking, yes, we're winning.
Yeah.
The West is falling. Yes.
You should be happy about the whole thing. Yeah, exactly. He's like, I'm so glad you're doing all these Fall of the West videos. Great.
Yes.
Skeptic, migrants 26, all of which are negative, and liberal. I'll give you migrants because migrants isn't a cultural topic and we can talk about migrants more so. Liberal 16, and there was a major pivot in 24-25 where you started use liberals a lot. So that is 207 videos that I would conduct. I would deduct as being reactionary.
How many of them have you watched?
So, none of them.
Oh, you haven't watched any?
Okay, I've definitely watched some, but I haven't watched all 220.
So you're commenting on something you haven't watched.
So you remember when I said sells outrage to get views?
Right.
So what I've analysed by are words that are used in titles. So you've deducted that if I put the word trans 53 times, you will get more clicks because we're YouTubers. We understand you use words.
How do you know that that's what I concluded?
You don't do clickbait? You don't play the algorithm?
Have you not noticed that we don't do clickbait?
What do you mean?
What do you mean?
We're all YouTubers.
Okay, so you're saying you do clickbait?
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, okay.
It's so much of this is confession right here. It's totally confession.
Yep.
He's like, look, I see that word gets me a lot of clicks. I got to make a video about that thing. You know, I don't give a shit about it, but I got to make a video about it. What a grifter! This guy's a fucking grifter.
It's as you said, confession by projection.
Yeah,
like hardcore.
Exactly what it is.
Yeah.
So why do you think I'm
when
like
I do the evil decline of the council estate, it's because I'm trying to get views and I'm trying to get people to click on. Yeah. Well, so when you do the decline, okay. So let me finish the point. Material video.
He just admitted. He just admitted that he's not making the video because it's a topic he cares about.
Or it's to be I'll be somewhat charitable here. He'll say, "Oh, I care about it, but I'm going to make." I'm going to frame it in such a way to make it clickbaity, to make it hyper incendiary, maybe focus on an element that's not really the key aspect of it.
Right. Yeah.
Which, I mean, I don't know. I'm looking at the Triggernometry thumbnails, and I would say, for the most part,
they're
I
pretty
do not
moderate.
think that they're very clickbaity with the stuff.
They are very moderate. You know, they're not against trans people at all. I think they're pro-trans people, just worried about false positives the same way that we are.
Yes.
Yeah. So this accusation is terrible, but everyone on the left makes this accusation. If you ever talk about the trans topic, they just assume you're a bigot, which, fuck off. Fuck you.
Well, that's why it's so insane that we've been in this situation that we're in right now. Like 6 years ago, 8 years ago, the trans topic explodes. You're literally not allowed to question it without getting labeled as a bigot.
Yeah, exactly.
And it was
stupid.
Kind of insane, the level and speed at which that occurred.
They're reeling from the level and speed with which that has turned around. We're full preference falsification here. Everyone's like, fuck this. We're going to talk about it. Especially when Europe is completely turning on all of these affirmative care models.
Mm-hmm.
Now everyone has some ammunition.
Right.
Look, and he's probably not up to speed on any of that shit. Probably because he doesn't watch those trigonometry videos where they actually interview the people who are doing the research.
Yeah, so
let's not finish the point.
No, if you don't let me make my point, there's no point.
You did make your point.
No, I haven't. No, I haven't.
You have.
No, I haven't.
You said that we do clickbait. You said that we do clickbait.
You can't let people think you're not a grifter if you're not going to let someone finish the entire argument. You know what you're doing, and it's stupid, bro.
You have as much time as you want.
Okay. So you won't let me finish my point because I was gaining a bit of steam there.
It's not
so material videos. You did 15 videos on material realities, which is things like housing, cost of living, inequality, NHS, climate, health. You have done 15 videos. 93% of your videos are reactionary, whereas 15 are about things that affect your audience. The fact that they're never going to afford a house, that the NHS is fucked, your audience don't get to hear that from you because you would rather talk 53 videos on trans.
I'm glad you brought
if we look at polling data and what these people care about, they care about housing, they care about the economy. When it comes to trans, it polls at under 1%. It's like the tiniest thing people get.
So I'm looking at Triggernometry's videos right here. The last video today, grooming gang survivor tells her story. I would say that affects people's lives, would it not? If you're living in the UK and you're, potential being a grooming gang person or being a victim of a grooming gang, that definitely affects your life. Then we have this video. Then a few days before that, we have them talking about Epstein, which is what everyone's talking about, and I do think is very important to affecting people's lives. If our government is so corrupt that they're covering up or even involved in massive sex trafficking of children, I think that's a major fucking story that affects you. The next video before that is, are we headed for a civil war? Obviously, that affects, if your country devolves into civil war, that obviously affects your life.
Just reactionary, Sitch, obviously. That's not going to affect you.
The day before, or the video before that, here's something he would like: 5 things we need to do to save the UK economy. So they're talking about the economic issues that he cares about. Before that, they talk about Israel. But you could say, okay, maybe that's like the most detached from the average person's life, but it's still a hot topic people talk about. Before that, a person talking about spending a bunch of time being homeless and addicted to drugs. This is more of the economic, sociocultural issues that this guy, Jimmy, should be in favor of. Okay. The video before that, I proved the police don't investigate crimes. They made theft legal. Okay. That seems like that's definitely a topic that should be interested to Jimmy. I'm assuming as a socialist, he doesn't really like the police. He'd be in favor of all that stuff.
Right.
So I don't know. I'm just looking at the last 2 weeks, and I'm seeing a lot of videos. I think that most of the videos he should have been totally okay with. I don't. First of all, I don't see any trans videos in the last couple of weeks, but
they talk about that on here, how they kind of moved on the trans topic.
Yes,
because things have changed, shifted gears.
Yeah, seems like he just has a fake outrage about the situation.
Oh yeah, total grifter.
Oh, here's the problem. Okay, so the video before the police video, someone is defending Israel, saying it's not genocide. And then the video before that is someone talking about the migrant crisis, presumably, being anti-immigration. And I assume Jimmy is very
open borders. Yeah, all the way.
Yeah.
Let all the grooming gangs in.
Oh, and here's why he's really mad, is that before that video, Konstantin did a video called "The Real Reason Socialism is on the Rise."
That is a great video.
It is a good video.
That is totally, and he nails it. It's true. In that video, he says socialism is on the rise. You know why, Sitch? You know why he says it is?
Why?
Did you watch the video?
I did watch the video, yeah.
Because everyone's economic conditions are shit.
Oh,
they're
so he should be
to socialism. Jimmy should 1000% be in favor of that video.
I think he actually does bring it up in this conversation later that he did like that video. So what's his problem? Why is it being such a douche nozzle about the whole situation?
Well, I'm sure Konstantin's perspective is that socialism is bad and that we should be looking to improve the economic conditions in some other way. But unfortunately, socialists, they don't respect any other ways, right? It's like socialism or nothing. Yeah, which is unfortunate, right? Because there's probably better ways to deal with it than socialism.
I would think there's almost always a better way to any situation than socialism.
Yeah, socialism quickly devolves into fascism, something that they're supposed to all be against.
Yes.
Tiniest thing people give a shit about, but it's the largest topic that you make videos on.
It's not the largest topic.
It is. If you go through those videos, 53 of which are about trans.
Okay.
Now, and you talk about it endlessly.
Are you done?
No.
I'll keep going.
No, nothing.
Oh, you are done?
No. One more.
Go ahead.
No, I'm not done. One more.
Go ahead. Carry on. You're not done?
Done.
You're done?
Done.
Okay, that was quick. Yeah. Right. So, there's a few things you said in there, and the reason I was interrupting you is I wanted to address them one at a time as opposed to this like wall of text that you
Yeah, for sure. But you get the point, right? You focus on reactionary, culture wars topics.
I do get
way disproportionate to material things that affect your audience's lives.
I understand your point.
Yeah.
So you made a number of points. That's one of them, right? Now, first of all, on the culture war and feminism thing, because we didn't finish that. Yeah. We have never made a war.
Yeah, for sure. Probably not.
Probably not. What do you mean?
Definitely not. You would never do that.
Okay.
Yeah. Super pro-feminist?
In what way?
I don't know. You like feminism?
What kind of feminism?
I don't know. What kinds are there?
There are lots of types of feminism. What do you mean, go on? Are you not aware that there are many, many different types of feminism?
Is like super feminism, super duper feminism? Or?
No, there are all sorts of types of feminism.
So which ones? You're pro-feminism?
Depending on how you define feminism, absolutely, yes.
Smash it. It's good.
This is so great because he's obviously just stumbled into this space and has no idea what's going on because he had some video go viral. He had some political video go viral, and now all of a sudden he's like, I'm the expert.
Yeah, how can you be this egotistical and retarded to have such a strong opinion on something and you don't even know that there's more than one type of feminism?
Yeah, because you know the stereotype. Like his whole thing is, his shtick is just beating up on right-wingers through the stereotype.
Yes.
You don't have to know anything to do that.
Oh my God.
Are you surprised by this?
No, I think you strike me as a feminist.
What does that mean?
Like, I think you love women. I'm just fucking, I don't know. Just playing around, remember?
So, playing around, I don't understand what you mean.
I just said super duper feminism. You can probably deduct I'm joking.
Okay.
He's totally like feeling out. He's completely lost.
Yes.
And he's trying to get any information he can, latch on to anything.
Mm-hmm.
This would be funny if Konstantin threw something out like 10th wave feminist, and he just, oh yeah, that makes sense.
Right.
So, but you seem to be implying something? Like you're surprised that I'm in favor of certain type of feminism, like you're surprised.
No, I'm sure you appreciate women in the workforce, maybe? I don't know.
You just met the person who runs Triggernometry who's a woman.
If you're trying to get to my argument, I don't have an argument, you're anti-feminist. It was sort of a general joke. With the
Based on what?
The whole super duper feminism.
No, but what you implied earlier that we do videos saying that the West is in decline. And when I asked you why that's a culture war issue, you said something about the West is in decline because of feminism.
I conceded that. I didn't.
Right. Okay. So let's just address that first and foremost, right? We've never done a video saying that the West is about the decline of feminism.
Wait, but I conceded that point.
And the reason is that there are many different types of feminism. We have had a very large number of...
Why are we talking about feminism? I thought we were talking about the decline of West and the way you frame the topic.
Did I let you finish your point?
Yeah.
Okay, now let me finish mine. The reason that I'm picking up on the feminist thing is that most of the videos about the issue of transgender ideology have been with feminists who've come on the show to talk about their concerns.
Do you think 50...
The stereotype is, and there are people obviously like this, they'll constantly sound off about how the West is in decline because women got the right to vote, right?
Right.
Repeal the women's vote and everything will be great.
Yes.
That's not trigonometry in any way, shape, or form.
No.
But he just assumes that it is. That anyone who's remotely conservative has that sort of perspective.
Of course.
Which is kind of like assuming everyone who's on the left wants to make pedophilia a sexual orientation. Or is a literal groomer, right?
Right.
53 of your main videos, the biggest topic you talk about is trans. Do you think that do you think that your audience thinks about trans that same amount?
When was the last video we did about trans?
I have no fucking clue. Probably, what is it, a year ago? When did you stop talking about it?
So they have 1.5 thousand videos.
Really?
How do you think he generated this statistic?
Oh, ChatGPT.
I'm very curious. It's like, can you analyze every one of the 1,000.5 videos and tell me like what is the majority topic? Like, well, 50 of the 1,000.5 videos are on trans stuff. It's like, okay, you got me there.
He's pushing hard.
Yes.
You tell me. You've done the research.
Well, it's your channel.
I know it's my channel.
Yeah, so when did
you've come here with a list of things that we've done.
Yeah.
When was the last?
So you don't talk 53 videos about trans.
That's not what I said.
In a time of economic crisis, where the billionaires are doubling their wealth, where people can't afford housing, you didn't make 53 videos about trans.
Jimmy, you don't seem to be answering the question.
So what's the question?
The question was, when was the last time we did a video about trans?
I have no idea.
Okay. Would you like to know why we haven't done a video about trans for a long time?
Didn't you do one? It was like, Lord had no scorn but a woman burned or something about J.K. Rowling. Wasn't that like...
Lord had no what?
What was the one about J.K. Rowling? It was something like she's there smoking a big cigar. We won the trans debate. Wasn't that like, it was probably a couple months ago?
Yeah, so it really feels like this guy, and this is the way, unfortunately, this is the way a lot of people engage in content, is they'll be on Reddit or on a Discord and people just post screenshots of thumbnails and then they interpret a bunch of that, or they judge the cover of that and they say, okay, this is what this person's entire channel is. They had one thumbnail that had J.K. Rowling on it. Oh, it's all got to be about trans stuff now.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, I'm the clickbait king. So, I go for the most incendiary titles that I possibly can.
Right.
But if you actually watch the video, I think a lot of times our content contradicts the title. So, but whatever.
When was
we won the trans. I've never done a video called "We Won the Trans Debate."
You did a video on the change in criteria of what is a woman. That was like 3-4 months ago, right? You didn't make a video about the J.K. Rowling thing when the whole change of definition of...
I didn't.
So now we've gone from you do constantly videos about trans people to you did one video where you talked about J.K. Rowling for 5 minutes 3 months ago. Okay. The goal has really shifted down here.
I know. We're moving those goalposts around like mad, aren't we?
Yeah.
And he's really feeling for anything here. He's completely unprepared. But obviously, I mean, he probably made this video and really didn't do any research for it. He just made shit up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Orca for $5 says, no wonder this guy quit parkour. He can't stop falling on his face.
Look at
pretty
that.
Good. His attitude is very unprofessional, even for internet spaces. Yes, agreed.
That's a good one.
Article, right. So I did a monologue about that. So in terms
of
like
3 months ago.
So I'm asking you,
4 months ago.
When was the last time we did an interview about the trans thing? It's a very long time ago. Would you like to know why?
Yeah, go on.
Would you like to know?
Yeah, for sure.
So Francis and I, when we came across this issue, we realized that what was happening in this area was really very disturbing. And we became very concerned about what was happening to children, what was happening to autistic children, what was happening to gay kids, etc. And we interviewed a lot of people to try and understand what was happening. That's why we delved into that issue quite a bit.
53 videos.
Right. And the reason we did that is we really are quite concerned about the fact that children are having their genitals removed.
53 videos.
Yeah, I think...
Economic collapse, 53 videos on
You know, I think children having their genitals surgically removed or being given puberty blockers that sterilize them for life.
What's the percentage that happens? Who is the percentage of trans people? How many people does this affect? Do you think it affects your 53, like just from a pure logical perspective, your audience probably doesn't deeply give a shit about that compared to housing. Compared to cost of...
I just wish they would say it affects every single parent in the country.
Yeah.
It affects all parents. Anyone who has a child, it affects.
Well, we can talk about several things at once.
And also, it's a stupid point, because if people, you just said your audience doesn't care about it. It's like, okay, if my audience
they do obviously care about it,
then those topics wouldn't get any views, and we wouldn't talk about it, or we would talk about it, and our channel would just not do very well.
Die.
Which you should be happy about as a socialist. So it's a very weird thing. Obviously, I'm sure if you go back and you look at their view count for those videos, they do very well. Is a topic that people do care about. To me, I think it's fucking disgusting, and I hate these people that bring up this point where the far left, like this Jimmy guy, was part of a movement that gaslit the entire world, or the entire Western world, into being completely unquestioning, sucking down this insane narrative about everyone should be able to transition, without proper medical oversight through the affirmative model. And if you dare question any of the research, any aspect of this, you're a horrible person. And we should potentially be destroying a lot of people's lives through this process. So they gaslight the entire world into doing this. And then when this pushback finally starts to occur, they're like, why are you talking about this? No one cares about this. There's so few people. Shut up. Shut up. It's like, no, fuck you. Go fucking to hell. Because you fucking motherfuckers push this. If you didn't care, then why was this shoved down everyone's throat so hardcore for 10 years? Fuck yourself.
Yeah, how many people are affected? How many people have legitimate gender dysphoria and may fall through the cracks? How many people is that?
Yes.
Right?
Yes. And then on top of that, I fucking bet you, I bet you that there are more people in the country by far every year that are children, that are minors, that are going on hormones, that are receiving transition surgeries. That number far outweighs the number of unarmed black people that are killed by police every year.
Oh, of course, easily.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you're in a conversation with some idiot and they bring up this crap, besides bring up the fact that this stuff was pushed so hardcore so they can fuck off, you also be like, oh, well, how many unarmed black people are killed by the police officers every year? Are you going to say that when the entire country went insane and went crazy about this issue for like the 20 to 40 people that this happens to, that no one should have been allowed to talk about that subject, that no one should have ever talked about that subject, Jimmy? Are you going to tell everyone who talked about police, the police killing black people, that they should shut the fuck up and shouldn't talk about that subject because it's just such a small amount of people?
Yeah, because it doesn't affect anyone, obviously. Why are we talking about this?
Yes. Why are you fixated on that issue? Why are you fixated on people, promoting messages that gets people out of poverty, that actually gets people out of poverty?
Right.
That doesn't force them to rely on the assistance of others or government assistance. Jimmy, I'm just wondering.
That compared to housing, compared to cost of living.
We can talk about several things at once.
But you talk about 53. You've made your last videos that were on housing were 5 to 6 years ago. All of the videos that are actual about it is. Well, but in the title, sorry, you probably
right. So you haven't watched any videos that we've done. What is the future of interest rates and to let housing prices stop?
Was that a commercial or?
No, it's his montage. No,
the cost of.
Oh, sorry.
Back it up. It's him talking about
right.
All the cost of housing, which they talk about all the fucking time.
Yes.
But it is. Well, but in the title, sorry, you probably
right. So you haven't watched any videos that we've done. What is the future of interest rates and the housing market?
Doesn't it sound like a commercial though?
It does.
Talk to Fidelity Capital. We'll let you know about your investment portfolio.
Right.
Once interest rates drops, it's a perfect time to get into the real estate market.
Country, in your opinion, the cost of housing is so high that
the homelessness has just gone through the roof.
The reason we have a housing crisis is the government cannot afford to let housing prices stop rising.
People can't see a way out of a rental situation where
the housing market is completely on purpose, and they refuse to fix it.
Many instances now of housing and
unless young people can get access to property and the housing ladder, they're going to reject democracy.
So we know in Britain, for example, housing's very expensive.
We've talked about before getting on the housing ladder, owning property.
We talked about the housing crisis, and we can talk more about that if you want. And I wonder if you think that the economic circumstances facing young people, the extraordinary price of housing, for example, the inability, therefore, to own property like me, right, have absolutely no personal short-term incentive to see that problem fixed.
When you look at issues like housing.
You want to make it harder for them? You want to make it harder for them to get on the housing ladder? The situation with housing in this country, which for young people is absolutely atrocious.
But what about the housing crisis? You did a video about Zoran Mondani and you mentioned...
Good job, editors. Completely annihilated.
Yeah. They do talk about housing a lot. I like that, obviously, because I think that's a huge problem. I think that's why people are turning towards socialism.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. Very unfortunate.
Housing in that. And actually, that was a very interesting video.
Right.
It's weird that the socialists who are against property rights are worried that people can't afford to buy property. But, whatever.
Well, there was that, I don't know if you saw, there was a clip of Zoran Mondani talking about how the end goal is to abolish
property rights. Really?
Private property, yes.
Okay. Well, then that's bullshit. You can't bitch about that cost of housing and say we need to abolish private property.
Well, that's why this is the problem of where your ideology fucks your solutions instead of you actually trying to figure out. Because if you actually look into it and figure out, you say, okay, well, we need to, maybe there's a rise in the cost to build the houses. Maybe there's a shortage of labor. Maybe there's a monopoly that is kind of restricting the amount of supply of houses. Maybe the government has too many regulations and makes it too hard, right? There's all these things you can look at and try to see how they're affecting the market. But if you have this ideology that's like dragging you towards the answer, you're going to say, well, the answer is we need the government to build a bunch of government houses because I don't want people to own houses anymore.
Oh, God. That's why it devolves into fascism. It's exactly what happens. Because somebody owns those houses, right?
Yeah, why would
when the king owned the houses and the king was like, you live here and you live there? Why would you want to go back to that system?
These people that advocate for like the more state authoritarian control, it's so baffling to me because there'll be people on the far left and the far right, and they all like, oh, we want the government to control everything. They want the communist government or they want the monarchy to control everything. And then those same people, all they do all day is complain about how the government is authoritarian in the direction they don't like. And it's like, why would you trust the government then? Why would you be trying to give all this power to the government if you don't trust them now? You have like some fucking retarded view that in the future, where the government has all this more control over our lives, but they'll be doing the things you want them to do.
Yeah. Decentralized power is genius, and it's democracy's decentralized power. Capitalism is decentralized power. That's another thing that is totally baffling to me. We know how human nature is, but their goal is to remake human nature instead of designing a social system that works with the human nature we already have.
Yes.
It's like,
yes.
Why? Why go on some fool's errand?
It's because the ideology, they're working backwards. They've constructed an ideology. They're going to force the answer to conform that ideology. The only way to do that is to automatically assume that there is no such thing as human nature, that all of human behavior is entirely taught to people, that humans are blank slates, so you can just teach them to be good socialists if you brainwash them enough.
Good luck with that. That's never going to happen. Completely ridiculous.
Zoran tape was incredible. That was one of your best videos.
Okay. So you concede then that I talk about housing. Do you know that in my first ARC speech, I was speaking to an audience of conservatives, including many. Hold on, so don't interrupt. I was speaking to an audience of conservative. Hold on. Yeah. I was speaking to an audience of conservatives, many of them conservative politicians.
You said if they don't own houses, if the generation below us don't own houses, don't feel part of society,
they're not going to want to preserve it. Right.
Agree with that.
Okay.
I deeply agree with that.
Maybe if you'd watched some of our interviews.
No, I've definitely seen some, but I did analysis of your titles, which is because I was trying to say that you're selling outrage to an audience to get views and you make money from it. Okay. Well, but your point on housing, you're exactly right.
I know.
You're exactly right. So I wish you would follow. I wish you would follow that topic. So I wish you would follow it because when you did that Zoran video, at the end of it, you said the same point. You said, what was it? It was about that if they don't have a house.
Right.
What was the statement? But they don't have a nation to conserve or a society.
I was telling conservatives.
Yeah. But you didn't give. So at the end of that video, you didn't give a solution. You agreed. You agreed to Zoran. No, you didn't. Go watch that video back. At the end of that video, you conclude Zoran is correct. If people don't have houses, it'll fuck everything up, and they won't want a nation to conserve.
Right.
We, as left and right people, we agree on that. But at the end of the video, you do not offer any solution. How are you going to help people get houses?
The solution is
How are you going to help people get houses?
Well, if you're interested, we interviewed someone called Liam Halligan who wrote a whole book about it. About many of the solutions for Britain in particular.
So how do you propose?
Ending corruption in the planning system, making sure...
There's 1.2 million plots of land that are approved and ready to build housing on, but the housing developers don't build the housing.
You like that? Every time he starts to talk, this Jimmy guy immediately interrupts him, and he's like, has a pre-prepared talking point that he's going to shove in here. It's like, let me ask you a question. And then if within 0.2 seconds of you answering the question, you don't give the answer that I want you to give, I'm going to interrupt you and give you my answer.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. He doesn't really care what his answer is.
Yes. Don't even ask the question at that point then.
It's not a conversation.
Because it speculates an asset.
I just started answering.
Okay, sorry.
He's like, the answer is capitalism. Capitalism bad.
Right.
You've got me revved up. I'll relax.
So let's just come back to the trans thing.
No, do the housing, bro.
Spoiler, he will not chill out.
People don't give a shit about trans people.
Well, they're watching interviews about it, as you rightly say, so they clearly do.
I am probably not going to have a really radical, interesting opinion on trans.
I'm not interested in your opinion on trans. You made some statements about why we
why you talk about it so damn much compared to how.
Jimmy, you got to stop interrupting and let me finish my points, and then I'll let you finish your points. Can we do that?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
I'll relax.
Cool.
I'll calm down.
It's pretty bad when you're interviewing someone, you have to basically treat them like a child. Okay, you have to talk down to them like they're 5.
Yeah.
Okay, now listen, Jimmy. In a conversation, you have to let one person talk and then the other person talks, all right? Don't just talk over them. That's how you have a conversation with an adult. You understand, Jimmy?
Why are you asking questions if you don't want the answers?
Because he wants the ability to dunk on him and call him an evil, right-wing, fake centrist grifter.
Right, yeah.
On the trans thing, hypnosis gets a bad rap.
Hypnosis does get a bad rap.
Right, yeah. But it's a great way to get a girlfriend, guys. So take that hypnosis class.
I wonder, actually. I don't know. That's a good... People were like, Sitch Adam, how do I meet women? I don't know, try a hypnosis class. I don't know. I feel like you would go to those hypnosis class. It's going to be mostly guys anyway, trying to also pick up chicks.
No. There's plenty of women in there that are trying to hypnotize their husbands and like cleaning the garage or something. I guarantee you.
I don't know if those are the type of women you want to be trying to involve yourself with.
Compared to standard diets. So what are you waiting for? Use our link in the description box and pin comment and grab 15% off your first subscription.
There comes a moment, usually.
Oh, we got another one.
How come we don't do these? How come we don't do what?
We should.
Come on.
Listen. We get emails.
Mm-hmm.
You
get emails. I always respond to those emails. Fuck you! Stop filling up my inbox.
I get emails that's
scam artist.
People talking about doing some product. I assume that 99.9% of them are scams, so I just don't even bother reacting to any of them.
I don't think we're big enough to get legitimate people that want us to sponsor their stuff, right?
I mean, we could get Ground News. They sponsor everyone.
They do, don't they?
They did a full blitz on YouTube.
It makes me think that there's something scammy about it, though. The fact that they are getting so many people to sign up or whatever.
Which is weird because I don't know. It seems like I haven't super used Ground News a lot, but it seems like a good idea.
Yeah, seems like a great idea.
So
got to be something about it.
It's like honey.
Do they steal your affiliate links? That's what's going on?
Maybe. You know what? Holy shit! I didn't even think about that. Oh my God! Somebody needs to look into Ground News. Make sure there's not some sort of honey affiliate link shenanigans going on here. Okay.
EER.SO code trigger.
On the trans thing, we became very concerned about that issue, and we became very concerned about the fact that people with penises were going into female prisons and lots of other things. And we had lots of people on the show to try and understand that. We had parents of trans kids on the show. We had many trans people themselves to talk about it in order to understand what was happening, including people who had very radical ideas from a pro-trans perspective, like India Willoughby. Okay. Once we understood what was happening, it was fundamentally about driving forward some of the changes that we've then since seen. So West Streeting, banning puberty blockers under the NHS, making sure the definition of what a woman is was clear in the Supreme Court, which Maya Forstater did, etc., etc. Once those objectives were achieved, we haven't talked about it since.
Good.
And have no intention.
Jesus Christ.
So that issue, in my mind, was very important.
It's done. You've finished the trans.
We haven't talked about it with anybody.
That's good.
Right?
That's good.
So that
he's not even acknowledging the huge victory that is. I'm assuming this is all in UK politics because the US is still fucked up about the trans stuff. So
yeah, it's all UK.
It's all about we have some executive orders going, which will be quickly reversed as soon as AOC gets into office. Right? we need a Supreme Court ruling on the definition of a woman. That would be nice. We'll take that.
Well. Or we could go back to the good old days where Congress actually passed laws.
I mean, that's a lot to ask, don't you think?
It's a lot to ask of our elected representatives that they do the entire job that they're supposed to do, that they actually do it.
They really only want to go to the swank parties and have senator before their name. It's a status kick that they want. You think they actually want to show up to work?
How else are you supposed to get an invite to Epstein Island 2.0 if you're not a senator?
Exactly.
Or a congressperson.
How the access to insider trading is pretty cool, right?
That's true. That's a great point.
Yeah. Sad.
It's an important societal issue because the definition of what a woman is quite central to everything that we understand about human nature, relationships, etc. We talked about that issue because we thought it was important.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, in terms of all the other stuff that you bring up, immigration, you talk about.
You're the only one you touch on. So you don't touch on.
Jimmy,
from a title perspective.
You laid out a list of arguments. I'm addressing them in turn. Can I do that?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. So on the immigration thing. Immigration has increased the population of this country very, very rapidly in a very short period of time, which is a massive contributor to the cost of housing when you have way more people for the same number of houses.
Do you know what percentage?
What percentage of the population?
No, what percentage effect it has on housing?
I don't think I do know off the top of my head.
1% for every 1% population rise of migrants, it'll be 1% house pressure. So it's about, if we go from like the 90s, roughly 20% housing pressure.
Right.
It does affect different areas differently. Some it has a negative effect.
Does that seem accurate to you?
An aggregate of data shows immigration contributed to around 15 to 20% rise in housing prices over 5 to 10 years in urban areas with higher migrant populations. Areas with lower migrant populations may see a 2 to 5% rise in property values. Source link in the description.
Yeah, that seems like total bullshit. He's like, 1% increase in population equals 1% increase in housing prices. How do you get that? Housing prices come from people competing for housing.
Right. Yeah. So what are you saying?
It's just that there would be no correlation between the two.
Oh, you mean like a 1-to-1 yeah, I don't know what the actual math would be. But even if it is a 1-to-1, especially in the UK, a much smaller country, yeah, if you have the population of a city or an urban area increases 15 to 20% for any reason, who cares if it's immigrants? It just increases. Then yeah, obviously housing prices is going to go up and match that to some extent.
Sure.
House prices have increased by 300%. So 20% of that is immigrants, and bearing in mind that immigrants contribute to also construction, the NHS, social care, so they have beneficial effects to the economy that are less seen, but they do have this 20% effect. There is still 270% effect. So if we,
there are lots of problems with the housing market about which we've talked about in the show.
I don't see it, and I wish I saw it more, and I'm glad
you haven't seen any of our videos, clearly, that's why you don't know. Well, when I asked you how many of those videos you've seen, you said you were going off the titles.
Back then, I would have listened when I used to be on the right. I would listen to you guys quite a lot talk about the trans stuff. Yeah. So I've seen them in the past. I've seen a lot in the last...
So have you seen our episodes about housing?
Yeah, no, because it was 5-6 years ago. I didn't watch it.
Okay.
But I see the one on Zora.
We can leave that one there.
I see the...
Okay, so basically what we're learning here is he's like, I used to watch you guys 6 years ago. That's what I'm judging my entire view of your channel from my experience of your channel 6 years ago.
That's insane. Were they even around 6 years ago?
I guess. I don't know. That's pretty funny though.
Doesn't seem possible, but...
All right. So a grifter is somebody who, say it again so we have a clear definition.
Peddles outrage to get views, selling bull. Okay. So instead of sort of going, well, what are the problems in society? It's housing, it's cost of living. Let's talk about that. Let's work out why. Or even say net zero, the one that you jumped off quite quickly earlier. Net zero, what is it? Who's pushing it? Let's get some climate experts. Let's get some policy experts. Instead, you get climate skeptics who typically are sort of like pundits, etc. So you don't really...
Have you listened to our interview with Alan Baker?
I did actually. Yeah, and that was a better one. That was definitely a better one.
So we do get those people on.
Yeah, one of the 6 videos or whatever it is. Yeah.
Okay, so we do get those people on.
And
to hear different perspectives.
Do you understand?
Did you listen to our interview with Roger Hallam, who's the co-founder of Extinction Rebellion?
I haven't. That sounds good.
Okay. So you don't seem to be fully aware of what we've done, but you've got very strong opinions about it. Isn't that exactly what a grifter would do?
Massively, yeah.
Right. And then put a clickbait title on it, as you've conceded that you do. Okay, cool. Sure. So a grifter is someone who peddles outrage and says things that aren't true.
Not says things that aren't true. They can genuinely believe in these things.
But they focus on this.
Bullshit. Yeah. So they've seen. So what I know on your
bullshit?
channel,
if they really believe
because if it isn't the truth, if your opinion of net zero is that we can't switch to renewables because it's going to be too costly on individuals' lives, when you do know that isn't true. You do know that renewables are cheaper, and the reason that we pay more for gas, the reason that we pay high energy bills is because of cost marginal pricing, and gas is very expensive, so it sets the price of the whole market. So renewables, it costs about 45.
I mean, why would you go to this guy for information on anything, Sitch? Like anything?
Well, no, it's retarded. Earlier part of the part that we skipped where he's talking about his background, he thinks that it's very weird. He's like a very confused view of the world. He thinks that the reason we're in the economic problem that we are now is all because America switched off of the gold standard and screwed over the rest of the world somehow.
He thinks that?
Yes.
He thinks because we moved to fiat currency that we're...
Yes, he said
he's a crypto bro.
It's very strange. He said America switched to fiat currency so that they could pay for the war in Vietnam and that somehow screwed over England and the rest of the world. And that's why we're in a capitalist hellscape, which is strange because you don't usually hear socialists talking about trying to go back to the gold standard.
You don't.
Like, what's happening
That's
here?
very reactionary.
Yes, it's very
reactionary of him.
Right. Though he did say he used to be on the right, so maybe, this has got a blend of things going on here.
He's a sound money guy.
Yes.
Wow.
Malik, thanks so much, Malik, for $20. Says Ground News is awesome. I use it every day. Literally shows you every publication that covers a story so you can see who's lying. It's the only good product advertised on YouTube. Well, there you go.
Really? Yeah. Okay, maybe we should give it a shot.
We should give it a better shot, yes.
And I mean by giving it a shot, using them as a sponsor.
There you go.
Not actually using the service.
There you go. Philip Kogans for $20 says, how am I supposed owed to get reelected if I have to actually take a stand on important issues? If I had to pass laws and take responsibility for their efforts and not just complain about it? Listen, that's a great point. Okay. You could pass legislation and someone in your constituency might not like it. And
that's why they don't want to do that. Yeah.
Yes.
They don't want to be on the record doing anything because they could get in trouble.
Right. So, you might as well just go ahead.
It's better to tell everyone, oh yeah, I would have passed that, but the doggone Democrats stopped me, or the doggone Republicans stopped me, right?
Pounds per megawatt hour gets priced the same as gas that can, in a crisis, go up to £200. You know that. You know about marginal costing, don't you?
Okay.
Bruv, you know about marginal costing. When you tell people the reason we can't...
This is so used car salesman bullshit artist level nonsense.
I know.
Like, look, now I'm an expert on energy futures.
Sue renewables is because it's going to make...
I've never told people we can't.
You have said this exact phrase. You say, people will not accept a declining living standard, implying higher costs, in order to achieve net zero. Correct. That's a false dichotomy because that isn't what it is.
Really?
You know that.
So how much is net zero going to cost?
What do you mean?
How much will net zero cost?
Well, it will save people money, save work.
Do you know that the estimate for net zero in Britain?
1.5 trillion?
Okay, that's quite a lot of money, Jimmy. So
he just pulled that out of his ass. He doesn't know that. Notice how he lifts up at the end there is an octave to show that he's asking a question. 1.5 trillion, maybe?
Do you understand how energy prices work?
No. Do you understand that you just yourself said it's going to save people money, and then you said it's going to cost 1.5 trillion?
Are you paying who's paying the 1.5?
We all are.
Through
taxation.
How do you get taxes?
By taking money from people.
Who pays the most taxes?
People.
And that tax gets used to do what? Create things that are in the public interest, that have paid dividends.
But you just said it's going to save money, and then you said it's going to cost 1.5 trillion.
Do things that create money at one point cost money? Did you set up this business with no capital investment at all?
Pretty much, actually, but yeah.
You've done no capital investment into this?
Pretty much.
Just labour hours?
Pretty much.
So labour hours is capital investment because it's your time, which is money, right?
God, he just flips on everything. He constantly flips as soon as he gets caught. Can you imagine going to a bank and saying, look, I need a loan for $100,000. I'm starting a YouTube channel. They would laugh you out of the bank.
It's going to cost, net zero is estimated in different countries to cost different amounts, right? But in Britain, 1.5 trillion pounds is your figure. And then you're saying it's going to save money?
But you know it's going to save money.
No, I don't know it's going to save money.
You do know it's going to save money.
Okay, fine.
So if I build...
Fine, whatever. This is why I couldn't be asked for this conversation.
If I build a ton of houses, if I take 1 trillion in deficit... So you're like a supporter of Donald Trump. He's taken a massive deficit.
I'm a supporter of Donald Trump.
Are you not?
When have I said that I'm a supporter of Donald Trump?
I feel like you or Francis, once he got in power, said, like, sanity's a return to America.
When have I said I'm a supporter of Donald Trump?
Not a supporter of Donald Trump. So
you just keep saying these things.
Yeah, I clearly don't understand your channel very well.
You clearly don't understand many things very well, but my channel is just one of them.
So you don't but do you support Donald Trump for the point that we're trying to make it? Do you support Donald Trump?
For the point we're trying to make it.
He's so grabbing on the straws. He's like, please let him support Donald Trump. Oh my God. That's all my audience wants to hear.
Yes.
Give me some sort of validation. Give it to me.
Mm-hmm. What does that mean?
Well, that he has increased deficit in order to do what he believes is an economically beneficial thing, which is to
That is what he believes, and that's what he's done.
Do you accept that?
Increasing the deficit.
To do things that he considers to be economically beneficial.
No, I don't.
You don't think Donald Trump is taking deficit in order to cut taxes because the idea is they will stimulate economic growth?
That's what he believes. Yeah. It's not what I believe.
Yeah, but that is what people do, right? They take deficit, they
But it's
borrow.
not what I believe. Did you just hear that I said that?
Yeah.
So I am not a supporter of Donald Trump.
Okay, that's fine. But you're understanding
You just said that about me.
You understand that people take deficit to pay for things that they think will pay dividends and improve society.
Yeah, but that's not what,
so if we take a deficit,
the net zero is about.
Yes, it is.
No,
if we're borrowing money to build green technologies that makes our energy costs not tied to foreign billionaires and private equity firms that sell us energy at extorted rates that make our energy prices higher than anyone else.
So why is it going to cost 1.5 trillion then?
Because you have to take deficits in order to afford these infrastructure projects.
Oh, I see. So what's going to be the profit from net zero?
That your bills will be...
the number. It's going to cost 1.5 trillion, and what's going to be the return on that?
Low energy bills for individuals.
So how much is it going to profit us? We're going to spend 1.5 trillion, like you said, with the deficit, right? How much are we going to get back?
That's a very good question. Probably you could find the answer to that.
Wait, so you don't know?
No, I definitely don't know.
Well, that's fascinating. You just said it's going to make us money. You don't know how much? Okay, cool. We'll leave it there.
Do you understand?
No, we'll leave it there.
Any nation that is
come back to the grifter. You're giving a good example of exactly what a grifter does. Someone who throws out claims they can't back up.
The nations that follow renewables have lower energy prices than us. You know that. Fantastic. You know Denmark. You know all these nations do that.
You done?
Okay. Let's read the little...
While renewable helps lower operational costs in Denmark, high taxes on energy keeps energy bills high, making Denmark's electricity prices 30% higher than the EU average. As of 2024, the average electricity price for consumers in Denmark is about 0.3 to 0.35 euros.
Doesn't sound good. Sounds like he's making stuff up.
No, yeah. Well, I mean, they had, if you want to talk so much about this, they had, it says a month ago, they had Matt Ridley on, and the name of the video is Net Zero Must Go. So if he wanted to have this conversation, he could have watched that video. If he disagrees with this guy, he could say what the disagreement was. But he didn't obviously watch any of this stuff whatsoever. So why would you do that? Why would you bother with that?
I need to look up Matt Ridley here.
Yeah, I don't know anything about Matt Ridley, but
I don't either. But I know there's a really good book written by a Ridley, but I don't know if it's Matt Ridley or some other Ridley. I'll look it up. Well, let's watch some more of this.
You know that.
Are you done?
You know that.
Are you done?
Yeah.
Are you done?
Yeah.
You are. Cool. So a grifter...
He did write it. It's The Rational Optimist. That book is great. You should read The Rational Optimist. You'll love that book, Sitch.
Why would I love that? Why, Adam, would I love that book?
You're right. You're kind of a pessimist. You might actually hate that book.
No, I'm very optimistic.
Oh my God.
That's not true. I'm very optimistic. I just hate all media because I'm a jerk.
It's very much people, you would like it because he looks back and he says people often look back with rose-colored glasses, right? They have that return to monkey mentality. And he just completely annihilates all of that thinking by spelling out how the past was just a fucking horror show. How lucky we are. How lucky we are to live now and how things are going to get much better.
You know,
if they remain on the trajectory that we're on. So,
yeah, like I think people get a completely fucked up view of the past because of media. Like whenever I watch one of these YouTube videos where they talk about how you would go to the bathroom, how you would get water, how you'd have fire.
Oh yeah, you're like
all these things
that
you would do just like 100 years ago, 200 years ago. I'm like, oh my God, this is fucking the worst thing ever.
Yes, yeah.
That was like, well, we talked about it a few streams ago. I forget the exact number, but it was something like until like 100 years ago or less, when people actually started to have like electricity in every house, I think it was like the most money for GDP spent was on firewood because that's how people had to fucking not die in the winter.
Not only that, it's so bad for your lungs. Firewood is terrible. Like the indoor air pollution from fireplaces is just off the charts. No wonder everyone died at 30.
Yes, it was like you had to have all this. Yeah, you had all the pollution from fucking inhaling smoke. And also, I didn't even realize this too, because I was looking into, I forget why I was looking into this. I was looking into how much money was spent on candles. Some astronomical price and time was spent on making candles and people buying candles and everything. They're talking about how the average, I forget whatever it was that they used, the average thing that they used, because they didn't use like wax. The average, they used like animal fat or something, I guess it was cheaper. Whatever they normally use for candles, the average like American back in the day, it had like a bad smell to it too. So you had this like bad smell constantly if you had a candle, unless you sell it extra to get, expensive beeswax candles or something.
LED lighting is crazy too because it's so much more efficient than the incandescent bulbs. It's so much brighter, and it's like a tenth of the power consumption.
Yes.
That's got to be saving massive amounts of energy there. Just every single home converting to LEDs.
Right.
And the price is coming down massively. So, look, and Matt really knows all about this. I should go watch that video because Matt really is pretty cool. So, but of course, this guy wants to believe, oh my God, it's a capitalist hellscape out there. Things aren't getting better. Capitalism didn't lead to the LED. What's the book? The Rational Optimist.
It is weird that you shouldn't just like the advocation should just be like pro-nuclear, pro-nuclear, pro-nuclear.
Yes.
If you really want to talk about, getting energy prices down and, not relying so heavily on fossil fuels and stuff like that, it's super weird. And I don't know what this guy's opinion on this is because I haven't heard it, but super weird the whole thing with Germany shutting down their nuclear reactors for no conceivable reason, except for some bizarre environmental concern, which is kind of not founded.
Wind and solar, man.
Okay. One day, maybe, listen, I'm not opposed to the concept. Maybe one day they'll be there with that energy generation, but it's not there yet.
Yeah, I'm not opposed either, obviously, but nuclear we have now.
Yes.
People are just scared of nuclear.
Unless you're Iran, then we're going to prevent you from getting nuclear and we're going to blow you up. And
they're afraid of nuclear.
Yeah, we're going to we're going to make you afraid of nuclear.
Iran can do the natural gas. Leave them alone.
No.
Someone who pursues outrage, they might believe it, they might not, right? Yeah. But they say things that are factually incorrect.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's look at the
sort of like increasing renewables will make our lives more expensive.
Cool. So in the video that you did, The Rise of the Middle Class Grifter, in which I feature alongside a number of people, you said, there's one quote I want to say, you show an image of me on my Australia tour, and then you say, people like this start every sentence by saying, I'm not right-wing, which I do quite a lot, and by the end of the sentence, they're defending Enoch Powell.
Yeah. They always claim to be actually left-wing or centrist or something. They start every single sentence with, I'm not right-wing. And by the end of the sentence, they're defending Enoch Powell.
When have I defended Enoch Powell?
You don't like jokes, Konstantin.
Oh, so you didn't mean it?
No, you don't. I don't think you defend Enoch Powell.
Oh,
do
really?
You defend Enoch Powell?
No.
Okay, so it's a joke, right? So the same way you guys call us woke indoctrinated liberals. And
I've never called you a woke indoctrinated liberal.
You've never just talked broad strokes on people on the left as all woke indoctrinated Marxists.
I think you're getting very confused, Jimmy.
You've never done broad strokes on the left. Konstantin Kisin does.
So he's like, okay, maybe I was talking out of my asshole, but it's okay because like I'm going to assume you've also done that. I don't have an example of you doing that, but you've done that, right? Right? It's okay for me to do the bad thing because you've also done the bad thing, right? Right?
That's a terrible argument, right?
Oh my God. Embarrassing.
We're both baddies. Let us be baddies together.
He's looking so awful in this conversation.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Someone has a reputation to protect and someone doesn't really have a reputation to protect, obviously. He's playing
he's
the
got
game.
A large channel. He's definitely got a large channel.
Yeah, but YouTube picks these channels and they blow up overnight.
Right.
Yeah. They're like the new thing. The new socialist in town. The new socialist just dropped.
Kisin doesn't paint broad strokes of people on the left.
When you show a picture of a specific person then you say these people do this, this, and this.
Yeah.
You're making a claim about that specific person.
So you didn't
in this case, that person is me. So what I'm asking you is, you've made the claim that I defend Enoch Powell. When have I done that?
I don't know. You tell me. It was a joke, wasn't it?
Was it? It didn't seem like a joke.
probably if you play the clip, you'll probably hear some
We'll play the clip. People can judge it for themselves. Okay, cool. Then you say these people, they use the facade that they critique both sides, and they will lose their absolute shit over Joe Biden eating an ice cream.
Yeah.
I know it's a minor point, but when have I lost my shit about Joe Biden eating an ice cream?
This is brilliant. You're taking specific jokes.
Oh, that's a joke as well.
When did this specific thing?
So you didn't mean that either. Okay. And then you say, but they remain.
You said this about me. Well, I, was just joking. Oh, okay. So you're full of shit. Yes. Okay. You said this about me. Well, why are you concentrating on the things I said? That was a joke. Oh, okay. So everything, all the claims, all the accusations that you made about me, those were all jokes. Yes.
All untrue.
Yeah. It's so ridiculous. Why would you? I can't believe we agreed to this conversation. Looks so awful.
He's looking to blow up his channel. He wants to go steal some of Konstantin's audience. That's why they do this.
So I was curious. I looked up. I tried to look it up, and I did find things that corroborated it, and then I threw it through the chat GPT, and it does seem to have spit out the right answer. I did do a double check here. It says a comparison between the UK and Denmark for energy prices.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it does say that the UK's energy price is slightly above the average of the average EU country. Okay, so it's close, but slightly higher. But compared to Denmark, Denmark's electricity is around 25 to 30% more expensive than the UK on a per kilowatt per hour basis. It says, according to this, the UK is about 25 cents, or no, like 30 cents or 30 EUs, whatever the fuck that is, 30 EU cents per kilowatt, where Denmark is 37 per kilowatt. So actually, the UK is less than Denmark, despite what this guy said.
Right. So he was full of shit on that topic as well.
Denmark's high pricing reflects heavy reliance on taxes and levies, many of which fund extensive renewable energy programs. So it sounds like this is saying, or this is at least accusing, saying that their renewable energy is making their energy prices higher, not cheaper.
Right. Well, the idea behind that is you want energy prices to be higher so people consume less and do less polluting. That's part of the equation from the environmentalists.
For some of them, yeah. But if it was renewable, I mean, that you were using renewable should make it, doesn't matter, right? You should be able to just use as much renewable as you want without causing pollution.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah, since there is no pollution, right? But isn't there pollution in the making of the production?
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
Making the solar panels.
It would be nice. Listen, I live in Florida. You live in California. Both get lots of sun. I would love if you could just slap on some solar panels on your roof and then you never have to pay for electricity. That'd be fantastic if that's,
I mean, a lot of people do that. There is a lot of solar in Southern California for that reason.
Well, do you have to put it through the grid though?
Yes.
Well, that's kind of where they get you.
Well, they buy the excess energy. The grid wants the excess energy because they sell it to somebody else, obviously at a profit. So you're generating energy at your house for the electric company.
Well, then I take it back.
They're selling to somebody
else.
Slap
a solar panel on their roof, and you're a retard if you don't.
And then at the end of the year, they kind of, you don't. There's at the end of the year, they kind of do the tally on how much you used in the off hours and how much you sold back during the day. So sometimes you make money, sometimes you don't, because the weather fluctuates, obviously.
Oh, okay. Yeah. You're saying the weather hasn't.
You can't get energy out of your solar panels at night because the moon is just not bright enough.
Okay. Interesting.
To light those things up. So yeah. The big problem is storage with energy. So if you read Boren Lombor's book, he talks about this. There's lots of ways you can create energy, but storing it is the difficult part. We've talked about this before. Reservoirs is a way that they do store energy. No, but you don't think of a reservoir as stored energy. But if you pump, when you've got electricity from the sun, right? That's free electricity basically, but you're not going to get it at night. You can pump water up into a reservoir, right, during the day off of sun energy, and then at night you can let the water run down from the reservoir and turn a turbine and get energy from there. So you got two reservoirs, one up high, one down low, and it's an energy storage system. But obviously you got to find a place that you can do that.
Right.
You don't think of a reservoir as a battery. So, but most energy is not stored in batteries. It's stored in things like reservoirs.
So, according to this solar panel site in Florida, it says the average payback period. So if you go to Florida and you get solar panels installed in your house, it says because of the cost of installation and to buy solar panels, it takes about 6 to 8 years to make back that money that you were saving.
Okay.
After you get them installed. And then it says, like, after you have them for like 25 years, then you can save, according to them, you can save almost $70,000. So it sounds like if you're in a house that you think you're going to be in for 20 years, yeah, then okay, maybe it's like a really good investment to get solar panels. Though I don't know, because in 20 years, I assume the technology is going to keep increasing anyway, and getting more efficient.
Right.
But if it takes 6 to 8 years to pay it back, then, obviously you got to take that into consideration. But it would be nice. Listen, it would be nice if that wasn't the way it was. I fully support investing in greater and greater solar technology.
We have a solar panel attic fan that's pretty cool. So.
Oh, it just keeps. Oh, that's smart. Just to keep the attic cooler for the rest of the like the AC and everything.
Yeah, and when does the attic need to be cool? Right,
in
when
the day,
sun's shining. Yeah,
that's smart. Okay, that is pretty smart. Yeah, it's a good idea.
That's not necessarily an imperative at night.
Right.
He remained strangely silent when Donald tried to coup the American government. Is that a joke as well?
I would say quite genuinely, lots of people on the right definitely.
You had a picture of me on the screen. So is that a joke or is that a serious claim?
What, that people downplay? No, that you downplay.
Remained strangely silent is your claim. Did I
on January 6th?
Did I remain strangely silent?
I haven't really heard you talk about it. I've never heard you say.
But you've made the claim that I remain strangely silent.
Yeah.
So is that a joke?
I've never heard.
Let's just get the joke, Vic. You're using the joke thing as a defense. Is that a joke or is that serious?
You are stressed by this.
I don't like people lying about me.
So, fair enough.
Because that's what a grifter would do.
It's totally let him know where he's going. Because that's what a grifter would do.
Right. Is that a serious claim or not?
But also, so obnoxious, these people, like, someone lies about you and then you challenge them on it and they're like, why are you getting mad, bro?
Yeah.
Don't get mad. You're like, well, fuck you. What the fuck?
This guy would lose his shit if someone was lying about him. Oh my God, he'd be so pissed. How dare you?
About
you specifically.
You have a picture of me on the screen, and then you say this person remains strangely silent.
I said Konstantin Kisin remains strangely silent.
You said people like this while showing a picture of me.
Like this is very
You're showing a picture of me.
Okay.
And then you're saying people like this remain strangely silent.
Yeah, they do.
Often the facade of these guys is that claim of being neutral. They always claim they critique both sides, but they'll lose their absolute shit over Joe Biden eating an ice cream, but remaining strangely silent when Donald Trump tried to coup the American government.
Did I remain strangely silent about January the 6th?
Maybe. I haven't heard you talk about it.
Maybe.
Yeah, I haven't heard you talk. So you've talked about it.
Is it a joke or is it not a joke? First of all.
No, definitely.
That's a serious claim.
Definitely.
Serious claim.
Definitely people remain strangely silent.
Have I remained strangely silent about January the 6th?
I haven't heard you talk about it.
Would it surprise you, therefore, to know that on January the 7th, by complete coincidence, I was doing an interview, me and Francis were, with Carl Benjamin, who used to be called Sargon of Akkad.
Do you like Carl Benjamin?
And we had a conversation about January the 6th, in which Francis and I were making the case there was a terrible thing to happen.
Terrible thing to happen?
Terrible thing to happen.
Do you think Donald Trump should have went to jail for that?
I don't know. I'm not an expert.
You don't know?
I don't know, no. And I don't think it was a coup entirely. It was a bunch of shit.
You're literally proving my point.
No, I'm not proving a point. I'm proving the point to you that the very next day...
Are you you just downplayed January 6th in front of me.
Did I remain strangely silent about it?
Well, you're talking about it, so I'll give you that. You're at least talking about it, but you have just downplayed it.
Jimmy.
You just say that's not a coup. He probably didn't need to go to jail. Probably nothing happened.
Well, a bunch of people storming the Capitol is not.
So this is why it's very obnoxious. This is like, it's very reminiscent of some of the conversations we've had with people on the left where they accuse you, say, oh, well, you don't talk about this thing, you're this evil person. And then we go, well, we did talk about this. And, our positions is not that far off of yours. And like, well, do you, unless you buy into the entire scope of my belief system, unless you're willing to say that, every aspect of Donald Trump's administration is a Nazi fascist regime, I'm going to say, aha, I was right. You're a secret fascist, crypto fascist, and you're full of shit and a bad person.
Yeah, it's completely dishonest.
Yes.
Completely bad faith. It sucks. But he is catering to an audience that really just are obsessed with January 6th, and they will dock Konstantin Kisin for this interaction.
Yeah. Now, I do think it's a little bit of a dodge to say, I don't know.
I am not an expert. I know.
Yeah, that's a dodge. I would say it's a dodge. But to be fair, I would also say, if you're talking to someone like this, and having the January 6th conversation about the full scope of that is a somewhat long conversation. It's at least going to be 15, 20 minutes or longer. And he's trying to get through things. So I don't know. And also, I wouldn't really trust Jimmy to be an honest interlocutor in that conversation.
He should just say if he committed a crime, he should go to jail.
Yes.
Why not just say that?
Yes.
That's a great out right there. If he committed a crime, he should go to jail. Of course he should.
Well,
now shut the fuck up, Jimmy. I'm trying to make a point.
Yes. I think most people's perceptions, both on the left and the right, about January 6th is really bad because the focus is almost exclusively on the riots,
and not the constitutional coup,
and not the actual constitutional crisis, which I do think Donald Trump should be held legally responsible for, but not the riot part. I don't think there's any sufficient evidence that I've seen that Donald Trump wanted there to be a riot, intended for there to be a riot or wanted there to be a riot. In fact, I've seen lots of evidence that says the opposite of that he didn't intend for there to be a riot. I don't think Donald Trump would have wanted there to be a bunch of National Guard people there if he thought his own supporters were going to break into the Capitol and that was something that he necessarily wanted to happen in the first place.
Do you think he wanted them to break into the Capitol?
No.
Yeah, I don't either.
No, I think you can make I think it's fine to complain and say, okay, he could, he did tell people to go home, but I think you could say, he should have been stronger and all that stuff. That's fine. But I don't think Trump would have even thought that it would have been good for him politically for people to break into the Capitol. Like, why would you think that would be something that would help you in the situation?
Yeah, I don't think he desired that. I think he was ready to peacefully protest. But look, Trump didn't know exactly. You had a bunch of water the tree of liberty with the blood of tyrants types running around there thinking they're revolutionaries.
Yes.
So it's so bizarre because isn't that this guy's perspective? He's a revolutionary, right?
Probably.
But he's like, oh, wrong kind of revolution.
That being said, yes, throw Donald Trump in jail for trying to throw out.
Yeah, Sitch, I was going to ask.
For that part, throw Donald Trump in jail. Fuck him for that.
Trump should be thrown in jail?
For that, probably, yeah.
For the elector scheme.
For the elector scheme, yes, definitely.
Constantine.
Do you think he should have pardoned all those people?
No, I don't.
Okay,
it's not a coup of the American government. Right, because words have definitions. Grifter is one of them, coup is another one, etc. Now, on the 7th of January, that's the next day, we were speaking to an audience of people who are on the right and saying to them, this is completely wrong, should not have been happened. People on the right should not be condoning or celebrating.
Did those people then go on to backdoor?
Sitch, for how long should Trump be thrown in jail? 6 months?
Forever.
Like
until no? How about this? Donald Trump should go to jail.
Just like a weekend?
No, I got it. Donald Trump should go to jail until the Epstein files are released.
Oh yes, he'll be in jail for a lifetime.
There you go.
Nah, this maybe 30 days seems about
30
right.
days. Look at him. Jeez, used to be hang him high.
30 days. I just I don't get all triggered over January 6th because it's old news now. I know a lot of people do, but I just can't bring myself to do it. I don't think that's a good
attitude to have.
Well, look, the Kennedy assassination was pretty bad, right? But I'm not.
Epstein was. That's what Trump's saying about Epstein. Epstein was so long ago. Why does anyone care? It was so many years ago. It was before January 6th. Why does anyone care about Epstein? He died, like in 2018, 2019.
The reason people care about Epstein is because there's been no clarity on the issue, though.
I understand that.
The thing about the January 6th stuff is we know everything. We know it all, right?
Right, but I'm saying if 2019 we found out that all these big elite people were involved in sex trafficking minors and none of them went to jail, and now it's 6 years later and we're talking about that, I wouldn't be like, oh well, it was 6 years ago. All these, elite people never went to jail.
It's time to move on.
I guess it's time to move on. We just shrug our shoulders. It's okay. It's okay.
Trump kind of did his time, though. I mean,
not really.
He ran for president and got elected, so the American people spoke.
Okay.
They were like, it's time to put this behind us. It's time to put away childish things.
Uh-huh.
We've got a country to save.
Yeah, it only took the Democrats having a comatose patient and then a retard run for president.
So look, we all know that you think Trump. All right, I think we're back. I don't know if you're back or not. Hey, everybody.
Oh, you're back.
Yeah, the stream crashed. I can't remember what I was asking you, but it was great.
See, obviously Donald Trump cut the feed because we were talking too much about Epstein and January 6th, and we couldn't have that happen.
Do you remember the question I asked?
You said that I think you were jokingly but sincerely saying that Sitch thinks Trump should go to jail for the election scheme for some indefinite amount of time.
Right.
Yes.
But now I can't remember.
It doesn't matter.
My great question.
It doesn't matter. Must have not been that great a question.
It was fabulous. What are you talking about?
Okay. Anyway, should we get back to the video?
Yes, let's do it.
When are you going to get a better router? When are you going to plug in?
That's what's insane. I just got a brand new fucking router.
Well, obviously that's the problem. Your old router was fine. The new one.
That is completely plugged in.
Yes.
And amazing. And lightning fast. I think maybe it's my internet.
People are saying fix the chat in your camera.
Yeah, I gotta fix the chat and also
OBS had to reset or something.
It did, yeah.
Okay.
Donald Trump do that.
I am surprised. Well, I'm somewhat surprised, but I guess not that surprised. The Epstein stuff is not going away. It just keeps coming back. Keeps coming back. I think part of it too is the Trump administration's handling of it is so bad. They keep resetting the news cycle because, if they just didn't say anything about it, I think people would get into the thing that you're talking about, Adam, where if there's no new information talking about it, people can't really keep making stories about it. People get bored with the story. But every day, Tulsi comes out, Trump comes out, they all say something new that's stupid about the story, and then it lets a bunch of people make YouTube videos about it. And it just keeps the cycle going.
Yeah, of course, they continue to get involved.
Yes.
I really wanted to know the answer to that question that I can't even remember what it was. That I was so stoked. And then the internet went out at the most inopportune time.
Right. Well, obviously.
I asked you.
Yeah.
I asked you if the country would be in a better place if Trump didn't win the election, if Kamala Harris had won the election instead.
Right now?
Yeah. Even though obviously Trump should be in jail for January 6th for the constitutional coup.
Yeah, it's a very hard question for me to answer.
Have his policies been better for the country? Yeah, it's good because it's like a moral quandary. Obviously, he's an evil person.
Right. To me, it's not a question of are his policies going to be good for the country. I don't think his policies overall will end up being good for the country.
You don't?
No. It's really more a question of I do think Trump winning changed the way that the left and the broader public is looking at politics and specifically looking at woke shit. I don't know if you saw the South Park episode.
I did not know.
It was funny because like people haven't really, everyone focuses on the whole Trump as a tiny dick part of it, but people don't really talk about the whole. There's a big aspect of it where Cartman is talking about how he doesn't know what to do anymore because woke is dead, and his entire personality was about kind of pushing things to the edge to annoy people, to trigger people, but now he can't, like now there's nowhere to go anymore. And I do think to some extent, yes, like woke is dying. I don't think it's quite dead, but I think it is definitely dying. It's definitely on the down spiral. And so if you ask me, is it better that Trump won or not? To me, it kind of requires, if Trump wins, has a bunch of policies that I think will end up being somewhat bad for the country, but the country can, bounce back from whatever bad policies there are and woke dies. I would think that'd be worth it.
I'd love to know what the bad policies are, because I think the immigration stuff could be a bad policy. Look, obviously, I think we should have immigration law. It's an open question for me whether or not we need the labor, right?
Yes.
If most of the restaurants in Los Angeles have illegal labor, right? Mm-hmm. And the businesses can't afford to hire people at whatever it's going to cost to get people who are here legally in there, and they have to close down. If we lose a bunch of economic activity, I'm not sure the policy is going to be worth it. So,
right.
So it's an open question on whether or not, I mean, those are the pros and cons of it. So, and I know a lot of people are like, immigration, we have to do it. It's the law.
Yes.
They want to say, I'm taking a principled stand. Well, that's fine if you want to take a principled stand and the country suffers economically and all of a sudden we don't have as much stuff, or it hurts people, they're not making as much money, there's jobs are lost, there's an economic downturn. If you're willing to lose your job over a principle, that's good for you, right? So
right.
I'm just pointing out the pros and cons. So that's the immigration. I don't know if the policy is going to be good economically.
Well, let me
go ahead, respond. Yeah.
Do different. Yeah. I mean, I sent you the article about, because there's two issues. There's the economic and then there's the moral issue. And, I sent you that article that was about the hairdresser who was wrongly sent to that prison, CCOT, and he finally was sent back to America, or was able to escape that prison legally. They sent him back, and he talked about how he was both violently, physically, and sexually abused in that prison, not by the inmates, but by the guards, and about how horrific the conditions were in that prison. And so I do think from the moral way, even though I am in favor of getting rid of people that are in the country illegally, I do think the way that the Trump administration is going about it is highly immoral in terms of sending people to these prisons without any level of due process. In terms of, I do think there should be some level of a pathway to citizenship for people that have like been in the country for 10 years and haven't committed crimes and have families and are productive members of society. Obviously, none of that is being discussed whatsoever. So from the moral perspective, I don't agree with the way that's going about it. Economically, and this is sort of when you talk about like how the policies are going to go, it's going to take I think it, generally takes a while for us to kind of see the effects. And so like, what is the economic effect of all the deportations? I don't know. We'll see in the coming years. What is the economic effect of the tariffs? I don't know. We'll see in the coming years. What are the economic effects, or
we're going to see sooner than a couple of years on the tariffs.
Well, maybe, I don't know, because, well, hold on a second. Because what are the global effects too of cutting, all the U.S. aid? What is the country effects of getting rid of what is it called? That organization that policed financial crimes that has been shut down essentially. What are the financial effects of all the deregulating of the banks and then deregulating cryptocurrency? Because once these, like, especially with tariffs, like once these things come into practice, or even with getting rid of labor, with the immigration, businesses can do things for a while to try to maintain, and then it kind of like they'll reach a point where suddenly things start to fall apart. So I don't know, maybe we'll see at the end of the year or next year, nothing happens and everyone's doom and gloom about the economy was completely false, or maybe things start to go south. We'll find out.
Justin made a comment about how COVID allowed them to see the weaknesses in the supply chain.
That is true.
They're really focused on making sure those weaknesses no longer exist. So that's obviously going to be, if they can do it, that's going to be a plus. That's going to be a good policy.
Right.
So I know you're listing off a bunch of policies that could be disastrous in your estimation, but I mean,
what are they doing to shore up? Because the only thing I've heard about that is that they keep saying, "Oh, we're going to bring."
Well, they're trying to pressure people. They're trying to pressure people to manufacture those things in America through the tariffs. That's the whole goal of the tariffs.
But even that's going to be something that, as I said, it's going to take some years to really look back on and see what the effect of the policy was.
If they
worked or not.
Yeah, if they can do it, if they can even do it, they're trying to. I think it's a noble goal to try to do it, right? I think we probably agree on that. That we shouldn't have those weaknesses in our supply chains.
I think it's stupid to try to get all manufacturing back to America. It's stupid and impossible. As I said, the future is robots and AI. We should have a very high amount of government fixation on trying to maintain or to make sure that AI jobs, robot jobs, building of robots, building of AI should take place in America. That should be the primary consideration. And then manufacturing of things like, like weapons and stuff, things that, you don't really, or things that would, drones, things you don't want China to manufacturing for safety reasons. Yes, I would be in favor of manufacturing those things in America too. But everything that's not
if
possible.
The robots are going to be the ones doing the manufacturing, and we manufacture the robots here, and then we ship them off to China so that the robots can manufacture masks in China.
Right.
Or medical equipment in China, or drugs in China.
Right.
Why don't we just have the robots manufacture them here? What's the advantage of sending them to China where China can reverse engineer the robot and now they're manufacturing the robots?
Right. But see, that's the way you would do it, is that you have the robots and the AI first. And then you can say, okay, well, if we can just program the robot to do whatever, then you do that. That's why I'm saying the emphasis should be on the robots and the AI, not on, well, we need to bring back blue jean manufacturing to America so we can have a bunch of Americans make blue jeans. Like, that just doesn't make sense to me.
I don't agree with that part, but I do agree with these factories should be located in America. And I think that's the policy that Trump is going for, that I agree with. So I don't know. I mean, it's difficult to say what kind of policies we're looking at if Kamala had won the election. Obviously, Kamala is not going to go after wokeness and the DEI and all that stuff.
That could all get worse.
With both barrels. Yeah, exactly. Right. So I do think there's some good policies that are coming. Obviously, I'm not in favor of, people who are here illegally being deported to some prison and sexually assaulted. I mean, obviously, that's fucking horrible. It's totally repulsive. So. But there's some good policies. It's not all terrible. It's not all doom.
Well, as I said, you've asked me, what would it be worth it? And I said, yeah, if, and that includes policies too. If through Trump getting elected and through anti-woke, anti-DI policies, woke does die, and even if there's economic harm to our country or cultural harm to our country, if we can bounce back from that, then I would say, yes, Donald Trump is worth it, because I agree if Kamala won, I don't think it would have the reaction to woke being pushed out the way that Trump winning has had that effect.
Right. Yeah. So that's good.
Donald Trump do that.
You're really trying to dodge the point I'm making here, which is you put up a picture of me saying that people like me remain strangely silent. And now you're discovering that is the opposite of the truth. And yet you don't seem to.
It does seem
hold on a second.
Often.
And you don't seem to do what a normal person would do, which is to say, "Wow, mate, I'm really sorry. I don't understand your channel very well. I've clearly made a mistake here. I withdraw these false statements, and I apologize."
If you really do think that Donald Trump did kill the government, and
Kisin just lost me when he asked for the apology. Why has he got to go full fucking soy? I've brought you here for a public apology, mate.
Adam is so anti-apology.
Well, it's so, like, begging someone to apologize on your show is just so weak. It's so weak. Ugh. It's very feminine, don't you think? I mean, that's what the girls do. They get out, oh, you should apologize. You have to apologize. Apologize.
To me, when he said it, it didn't sound like he was begging for it. It sounded like he was saying, if you make a YouTube video and you lie or you get something wrong, and through the process that you besmirch someone's reputation or you say falsehoods about them, yeah, I do think you should retract it and apologize. I think there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
And if he says like you should do that, I agree. You should do that.
Yeah, I just think it's weak to ask for an apology.
Okay, I'm not getting
it. Basically asking for an apology.
Right. Whenever someone
you're not acting like a normal person apologizes.
Yes. Whenever someone says anything about apologizing, your mind instantly cuts to the South Park of trying to
get on your knees, kiss my ass, apologize. Here's my butt.
Randy Marsh to kiss Al Sharpton's ass.
Kiss my black ass.
Yes.
Apologize. I just don't. It's also. I think it puts people in the wrong state of mind. I don't think a forced apology is not even worth anything. So why are you even? If he just apologizes naturally, then that's fine. But
right,
you don't support him for that. You think that probably should go to jail. I will retract that statement. For sure.
You haven't retracted the statement.
I'll retract it right now. I'm retracting it.
Excellent. So you lied about me about that. Now, coming back to this idea that you were talking, you had a picture of me and you were saying these people have the facade that they critique both sides, right? You think that's true about me? It's a facade?
Yeah.
Okay. So are you aware that among people in our space, I've been very, very critical of people on the right about their ridiculous position.
Yeah, the woke right stuff. That's your best take.
No, hold on a second.
Sorry, Ukraine.
About Ukraine. Are you aware that we raised tens of thousands of pounds on Triggernometry for Ukraine? Are you aware that I've been fiercely critical of people like Tucker Carlson and Konstantin?
Yeah, the woke right stuff. You're
and the woke right.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that's a fair point.
Okay, and housing. Speaking directly to conservatives and telling them this is an important issue.
You have never presented an actual solution to housing. You have never presented it.
Really? You've seen all our videos.
What is your solution to housing?
Hold on a second.
What is your solution to housing? How are you going to make it so that your audience, the young people that watch this, are ever going to afford a house? How are you going to do that? How does Konstantin Kisin propose to do that?
First of all, it's Konstantin Kisin.
Hold on, let me go
back. We're going to have
second.
socialism. We're going to have the government buy all the houses and give them out to the people for free.
Yeah.
I am an adult. I have good policy prescriptions for other adults.
I want to hear the question he asked for a second here.
So are you aware that among people in our space, now, coming back to this idea that you were talking, you had a picture of me and you were saying these people have the facade that they critique both sides, right? You think that's true about me? It's a facade?
Yeah.
Okay. So he says it's fake. It's a facade. It's not real that you criticize both sides. And he says, well, I've criticized them, a lot of the rights take about not supporting Ukraine. And he says, oh, okay, that's good. I've criticized the far right and the woke right stuff. And he says, oh yeah, that's good. I've criticized, the right wing take on housing. He's like, yeah, but you're not supporting the answer that I want on housing. So therefore it's a facade. Like, this is such a bullshit framework, such a bullshit way of interacting. This is where this Jimmy guy is just a pure grifter.
Of course he is, yeah. And he's really using housing issue to sell socialism. Socialism is really his product. He doesn't give a fuck that you're out there and you can't afford a home, right? He's using the housing crisis to sell the thing he really wants to sell.
Yes.
Which is just, that's lame, right? He doesn't care about your housing situation.
Right.
Which socialism, I guarantee, is going to make your housing situation much worse.
Yeah.
Much, much worse.
Yes.
No one's going to have houses.
J-Mac, I saw you got fired. Thanks so much, Daddy J-Mac, for the $20.
Look at this.
Says, Adam is right. Demanding apology is soy beta cuck behavior. A man calls one who has wronged him an asshole, not worthy of their consideration. Apology from someone with no morals is worth nothing.
That's what he should have said. Exactly. He should have said, I don't want your apology because you're a piece of fucking shit. I don't ask the shit for an apology before I flush it down the toilet, okay?
I mean, that's true. If you're dealing with someone who's very dishonest, then yeah, apology isn't worth anything. So
yeah,
that is
exactly. True. A normal person does apologize of their own volition. Mm-hmm. They don't need to be demanded an apology.
Right.
Konstantin Kisin.
Kisin?
Yes.
Oh, I've been saying it wrong for literally years.
You have been. Yeah. Now, coming back to these are all claims that you've made, right?
Yeah. Why can't you talk about anything substantive?
I would.
Look, I'll accept.
You lying about me to your 700,000 subscribers has no substance, okay? That's substanceless.
Yes, exactly. That's insane. That's insane. Can you imagine just slandering someone in a video and they're like, well, why do you care? That's not, there's no substance there, me just lying about you.
Well, it's your reputation, obviously. You should care very much about it.
Right.
Yeah, it's so silly. This is there are kids dying in Gaza defense, right? Why are we talking about this? There's a genocide going on.
Right.
Don't you know? People can't afford houses. Holy shit. Why are you talking about the video I made $2,000 off of, salvaging your reputation and lying about you?
Right.
Probably just chatted on you. I should have probably looked more into some of the things that you said.
Okay, but why don't you stop there and pause and just listen to what you just said? You just admitted you have no idea what you're talking about, and at the same time, you're still driving forward the narrative that you had. Isn't that exactly what a grifter would do?
You're doing exactly what I'm claiming. You can't talk about things that are substantive. 53 videos on trans people. You can't talk about housing. You can't talk about.
Oh, your camera shakes a lot. I don't know.
Does it? You like it? Oh my God, it does. Holy shit, it's shaking like crazy. What's going on? Oh my God, it's an earthquake, Sitch. I'm dying over here.
I'm just saying, people in the shower complaining. I didn't even notice it. So
do they want me to fix my camera?
Why is it shaking? Are you shaking? Is it like your desk is shaking? Like what's going on? Are you I got excited under the table?
So I had it's Mike's. Oh, guys. Oh, the stream.
I know that like political conversations really gets you excited.
This is all the autists in chat. Like, do you really want to have a conversation about my new camera stand and how it shakes more than the other camera stand?
Is that okay? I just didn't know if you knew about it.
Right? If we must have that conversation, I will. Okay, the first camera stand that I bought actually sat on top of my monitor. The monitor provided some resistance for the shaking, but then I was like, why do I got a new monitor and I'm like, why do I want to set this? The monitor's thinner so the stand doesn't really work as well. So I thought I'll just get a different stand that sits on my desk, but it's like this long cable that obviously doesn't provide a lot of resistance. So when I get riled up and I hit my desk or I shake my desk, it looks like I'm living through an earthquake here.
I think everything you said is untrue.
First of all, it's all 100% accurate.
No, the truth is that your old microphone stand was really ugly. And so you left it alone. But your new microphone stand is very attractive and you just can't keep your hands off of it.
No, it's not. It's a desk that's shaking. Look, my hands right here, hands on the desk.
Yeah, because you're looking at your sexy new microphone stand, which is for some reason shaped like a voluptuous woman. And,
I wish.
Your desk gets excited.
I wish. I wish. Are people really looking at me that much that they're freaking out? Because it does shake a lot. I do notice it, but I kind of like it. It's like an effect.
It is. So
that's what
leave
happens
a comment
when I rage.
If you're bothered by Adam's shaky camera.
I did see him in the chat talking someone about it and then going off on how I never read the chat, which was interesting.
NHS, you can't talk about cost of living because you'd have to actually engage with these topics.
Wow.
Every time I've tried to talk about these things with you, you want to get it back to you said this, you said this, you said this. Obviously, have it. Bad video. Take it. But let's talk about housing. How do you want to fix housing?
No. You made a video accusing me and a bunch of other people of being grifters.
No, you can call me a grifter. For sure, if you want to call me a grifter, let's talk about housing.
Hold on.
Let's talk about housing.
I don't want to call you a grifter. That's what people like you do.
You can call me a grifter. Let's talk about housing.
Did you just hear when I said I don't want to call you a grifter?
Let's talk about housing.
No, we're talking.
Your audience.
Can you imagine if Donald Trump did this after January 6th, came out and be like, what?
Can we talk about
housing
policy? Okay.
Why are we talking about housing? Why are you talking about what I did? Jesus.
Why did he ask him about January 6th? We're talking about policy here. Okay.
Exactly.
Who cares about January 6th?
Forget about January. Oh, it's bringing up old shit.
Yes.
In about 5 years, they're going to realize this conversation is stupid and that the actual conversation is about housing.
You made a video about grifters, so you're the one that's clearly stupid.
And we've started having a conversation, and you've only focused on that sort of stuff. You haven't.
I invited you on to talk about your video.
Yeah.
Because
I made a video lying about you, and you invited me on, and we're only talking about that. Why are we talking about the things I want to talk about?
I came onto your show to win your audience over, okay? You're making me look very bad.
Yes. How dare you, sir?
Your audience is not going to like me anymore. Why would they like you after you made the video anyway?
If you want to talk about policy, then why wasn't your video criticizing Konstantin on something, or on some sort of policy, something policy-wise that he actually believes in, not just say a bunch of bullshit?
Yeah, it's unfortunate because we have criticized Konstantin on policy and we don't get invited on. We need to call him a fucking grifter.
There you go.
I think that's actually pays, right?
I like it. See, that's the
next week we're gonna have a Konstantin as a grifter video coming out, guys. So just be ready for it.
Right.
We got to get the invite onto Triggernometry.
Grassroots Hegemon, thanks so much for the $20. Says a lion does not concern himself with the opinions of the sheep, and I don't get excited by two mental patients arguing who should start the kiss. There you go.
Oh yeah, good. That's an excellent super chat.
Yes.
But we haven't talked about anything that actually matters to people. I'll let you have it. You can say it was a bad video. I don't
I'm not
really
saying it's a bad video.
care about that.
Wait, so you went on the internet, you made a video about a bunch of people in which you made a number of false claims, and now when I've pointed out to you that they're false, your defense is what?
I think your audience is going to see that you don't like to engage with to many people that kind of agree with me, they're going to see that you don't want to engage on any real substantive
That's very interesting, because you're not engaging on the thing that I'm bringing up with you.
That makes the point that I'm making, that you come across very grifty because you don't actually talk about real things.
Right.
You talk about very surface level shit.
Okay.
You don't talk about things that affect people's lives.
Right.
Like it's like a magician. It's just all fake. All of this is fake. But people completely fall for this illusion because they want to believe anyone on the right is a liar.
No, yes. He's not just like a magician. He's like a fake magician from the movie Now You See Me, where it's not actually magic. It's all just CGI and camera editing.
Right.
And then when you see them actually try to perform magic in real life, it completely falls apart.
Yeah, he can't do it.
No.
The fact that people aren't going to afford to live in this economy, the fact that things are getting shitter and shitter.
You're the one that's making videos about grifters. Have I ever made a video calling anyone a grifter?
I hope so.
I am sure you have called someone a grifter.
Have I ever made a video calling a bunch of people I don't know grifters? And then gone on their show and claimed to their face a bunch of lies about them?
You're quite upset about this.
Not upset at all.
It does seem you're a bit upset. Look, I'm sorry if I've offended you.
You haven't offended
talking
me.
broad strokes.
No, by lying.
By talking
by
broad
lying.
Well, what's the difference?
You said the difference.
What's the difference if I'm talking broad strokes
is something that might be true, but that's not true.
What's the title of the video?
The title of the video is The Rise of the Middle Class Grifter.
Right, so it's a type of character that there's a certain
in
type
which
of
you
thing.
feature me, and you've just admitted that all the things you claimed about me, including me.
What is the key? What is the core premise of that video? What's the argument I'm making?
The argument you're making is all of these people
focus on
things that are going
outrage.
Yes, and they're going to tell you things that that are lies. Right?
I never said lies.
Okay, you just said it in. You said bullshit.
Yeah, bullshit. Okay, but you can believe bullshit. I think you probably believe the things that you talk about. I just think they're really stupid things.
And yet here you are.
Wait a minute. His definition of grifter from the beginning was the person has to be dishonest. Now he's saying, well, you do believe it, and you're not being dishonest. So you're stupid.
Yeah.
So he's completely changed his position here.
He's just struggling, looking for anything to grab onto.
So I went to that site that lets you search through all of the transcripts of someone's YouTube channel.
Really?
And I typed in grifter on Triggernometry. Okay.
Right. Who is he called a grifter?
I can only find, out of all their videos, okay, of their 1.5 thousand videos, I only see one video that looks like someone was called a grifter.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, which is impressive. And you know who it is?
Who is it?
They call Al Sharpton a race grifter.
Oh, okay. Well, that's accurate.
That is true. That is accurate. There you go.
Completely accurate.
Yeah. So I don't see them making he's correct. I don't see some video where he's calling a bunch of people grifters.
We call people grifters all the time. Because all we cover is grifters.
There's a lot of grifters out there.
It is, I know. It's insane, the number of grifters. This is the griftosphere.
Oh, and actually it's not even him in the video calling Al Sharpton a grifter.
It's one of his guests.
It's it's Francis is talking or being interviewed to some guy, and the interviewer said grifter, so
nice.
There you go. There it is.
Mm-hmm.
Here you are, having made a video that is full of lies that are worse than bullshit. You haven't done your research.
Mm-hmm.
You haven't checked whether the person about whom you're making certain claims has said or not said the things you're claiming. And the moment you're challenged on it, your reaction is what? To try and dodge the question.
To paint the picture that you're doing exactly what my video claims you do.
To try and
which is that you don't talk about substantive things, you talk about culture war.
To try and dodge the reality that you lied in your video repeatedly.
In your head right now.
This is an interesting tactic. I'm going to go on my video. I'm going to make up a bunch of positions that you have. I'm going to lie about you. And then when I'm talking about it, I'm going to concede that I lied about you or was wrong, but then still blame you and say it's your fault that I made the video where I lied about you.
Yeah, it's a crazy move, huh?
I think
is it going to work?
The whole people looking at your thumbnails or your content from 6 years ago and creating a whole worldview that's all wrong about your argument. He's doing basically, did you see what your thumbnails were wearing? What you were wearing in those thumbnails, you practically asked to be lied about.
Oh, yeah. That's a good analogy. He's the rapist in this analogy, right?
He is, in fact, the rapist.
In reality, you're proving my point that you cannot engage on anything substantive. That was the argument of the video. You can't talk about housing.
Hold on a second.
You can't talk. You haven't even been able to give me your solution to housing. You're not able to talk about it. You've not talked on any of these topics. You can't talk
because we're not here to talk about that. We're here
on a political channel. You don't talk about politics. You'd rather talk about a guy who's basically just chatted shit on you, and you'd rather get angry and annoyed and pissed off at the person who's chatted shit on you, and not actually even attempt to try and engage with my point. That is that you focus on stupid topics.
I'm getting annoyed with you because you're not answering the question and you're not engaging.
What's the question now? You've thrown 100 at him. Go on. What's the question now? What have I done now?
You keep interrupting, so that's why I keep having to ask you the same question 100 times. So your definition of a grifter was someone who creates outrage and clickbait, which you admitted you do.
For sure, I do that. Yeah. That's YouTube, isn't it?
No, not really.
YouTube isn't clickbait.
Not all of it. You have a choice.
What is clickbait? You want to bait someone to click on your videos.
This is why I keep having to ask you the same question 100 times, because you keep interrupting.
Yeah,
right?
Sure.
So
he's just dodging. That's what he's doing at this point. Dodge.
Well,
creates outrage, does clickbait, and says things that aren't true.
I have to strongly commend Konstantin for this interaction, because Jimmy here keeps trying to bait him into talking about a topic when he shouldn't. He shouldn't talk about any of the topics. I didn't invite you on the channel to have some conversation about housing or the environment or any of these policies with you. If you were being honest and you made some video critical of some policy that was, a position I had, that would be a chance to have that conversation. But if you're going to spout a bunch of bullshit, a bunch of lies, you don't know what you're talking about, then you come on, you try to dodge, and then you finally acknowledge that most of these positions are bullshit or lies. Why should he waste a single breath talking about any policy with him? Fuck him.
But he should.
Show that he's a fucking liar, and then give him, show him the door. Get him the fuck out.
He should do all of that, but he should throw in some insults where he says, look, we talk to people who know the topic and are professionals around the topic. I'm not here to talk to you about climate change because you're a dipshit who doesn't know anything about climate change.
Right.
Yeah, that would be good.
Mm-hmm.
Because he keeps trying to move the topic to something that knows nothing about. Why the fuck would you talk to this guy? He's not an expert in anything but clickbait and grifting.
I would say even if this guy was the most knowledgeable expert on some topic, I'd say fuck him. Don't have that conversation. If he's going to force not force, but if he's going to start the interaction through the video where he's entirely dishonest and bad faith, and he's not going to apologize or acknowledge the fact.
Don't
acknowledge the fact. Like, if he acknowledged that he was wrong, it's like, okay, maybe I was wrong about all these things, and a wrong position about all this stuff, and it was some sort of good faith conversation. Then I say, okay, then you can move on. Maybe you could talk about some of these topics. But if you're not going to, then what's the point?
He can't acknowledge any of that. I'm sure he made that video and read through the comments, and everyone is like, "Oh my God, you're so great. These people totally are grifters." They all run around with the same exact stereotype, so they love anyone that comes along and confirms their idiocy.
Right.
So he knows that he's king of the world with that audience, and he doesn't want to throw it all away. Now he's just got to get through this interview with as much obfuscation as humanly possible.
The top two comments on this video, I think, are very pertinent. The first one says, it was like watching an adult having a conversation with a 4-year-old. True.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
And never play chess with a pigeon. The pigeon just knocks all the pieces over, then shits all over the board, then struts around like it won.
Those are the two comments. You should go to the comments on his video, though. The video that he made about
He hasn't
Konstantin.
Uploaded this, so.
No. He made a video about Konstantin.
Oh.
Go look at those comments, because those comments are probably like, "Oh my God, yes, genius. Oh my God, you're so amazing. This is so true. Why don't people see through their act? They're such right-wing hacks. Oh my God, they're fascists."
Well, I'm sure
you've unmasked the fascist. You're a genius. Oh my God, I thought you were only good at parkour. It turns out that you're a saint for our community, an anti-fascist king.
I'm sure he's going to make some kind of video on his channel about this interaction. So
I'll
be curious to see.
About how he destroyed him. He destroyed the fascist.
It's funny because
reactionary.
If you click on his, so the video he made is like from a month ago. All the recent comments are from
Konstantin.
This interaction.
Oh no!
And they're like trigonometry fans. So someone says, everyone that thumbnails an intellectual level you'll never reach. Stick to hopscotch and jump with Peppa Pig, or you'll get another ragdolling.
Oh my God, I love the internet, because everyone's immediately, as soon as this video came out, ran over there and they're like, ah.
Someone else said, bro got his cheeks clapped by trigonometry. Who's here for the car crash trigonometry appearance? This aged poorly, Jimmy the Grifter. This guy doesn't have a clue. Jimmy, please don't ever take this video down. These comments must be preserved.
Okay, well,
came here after watching Jimmy the Microbe. It's interesting. Jimmy the Microbe.
We might have to do some archaeology here and really dig. Yes. Dig to the comments pre this interview coming out. You guys ruined it.
Came here after watching Jimmy the Microbe get folded like a deck chair by Konstantin Kisin. Jimmy even admitted to being a grifter at the end, LOL. This guy behaved like a spoiled 5-year-old child, embarrassing himself big time. The emotional intelligence of a toad. I apologize to toads.
Look,
there you go.
This is so sad too, because everyone who this is their first encounter with Jimmy, it's gonna stick. Confirmation bias is I'm never gonna see him as anything other than a grifter. I can't help it. I'm just gonna give in to the confirmation bias.
Yeah, wow. Like, there's a lot of there's just a lot of comments from trigonometry fans just shitting all over him. So,
well, look, I think trigonometry is a much bigger channel, right? I think they're 1 million subscribers, maybe even 2 million subscribers.
Yeah, this guy's got
they're huge.
600,000, so he's big too.
Oh, I thought he had 700,000.
That's close. 660. So.
Okay, I think he might have had. They mentioned 700,000 in here. I wonder if he lost a bunch of subscribers.
Up. Okay, they're just being nice.
Oh, nah, he probably lost like 40,000 subscribers.
I'd be pretty insane, but maybe.
After this interaction, everyone's like, "Oh my God, I can't believe I subscribed to that grifter. He grifted me." People don't like being grifted. They don't.
Here's interesting. So this is from 3 weeks ago. So this is before this.
Good. That's what we want to see.
It says, good video, but if you're calling political commentators grifters, what would you call yourself?
Oh my God. Konstantin's alt.
Interesting.
Stepping in there.
Interesting. So.
What's the name of the video?
1 month ago.
Okay.
What happened? Wait. Oh, this is interesting. This is from 1 month ago. What happened to the channel? This is just embarrassing. Just lump anyone you don't agree with together and dismiss them because of their accent. Wow, really insightful. Thanks. reach out to Triggernometry. I dare you. There's Konstantin's all the account. Oh my God. Look at that.
There are no positive comments? Zero?
I'm sure there's positive comments.
How many views did the video get?
It had a lot of views.
Okay.
I think 370,000.
370,000.
Yes.
Yes. Those are all Reddit users. You know they are.
Mm-hmm.
Every single one of them. They roam around the internet. They're like, oh my God, where's the socialist videos? Got to post on Reddit.
I wish that the YouTube comment thing actually worked properly, where if you hit top comment, it actually ordered the comments in order of likes. It never really does. I have no clue how it does it, but
it
doesn't really work properly. So
yeah, they do a little algorithm grifting in there.
Mm-hmm.
Make some comments more popular than they should be. I think it's a mix of age and likes.
Whatever it is, it's stupid.
Right?
Do it again.
Creates clickbait to call outrage and says things that they might or might not believe, but that aren't true.
You're missing quite a bit of it.
Well, that's what you said.
It's to peddle outrage.
Yeah, to peddle outrage.
Via bullshit. So
via bullshit.
Okay. Bullshit.
Right.
So you talk about things that don't matter to piss people off. You misrepresent topics to annoy people, to make them click, and then you make a load of money about it.
Great.
Would you say Would you say that I misrepresent the story on council estates?
I haven't seen your story on council estates.
Wait. Would you say that I misrepresent my stories on benefit scroungers?
I haven't watched your video.
So you haven't seen any of my videos, and I can see where this conversation's heading. You're going to say, oh, aren't you doing everything that you're claiming I do?
Okay.
And I'm trying to say my content does not do that. I make very substantive videos about things that actually affect people's lives.
Like grifters?
Yes, because it does affect people's lives.
Oh, I see. So internet grifters affect people's lives.
Because you doing what you do makes people think, oh, the trans ideologues, that's going to destroy my life. Meanwhile, they can't fucking afford a house.
Really?
It's a very, obviously the reason I made that is because I'm trying to paint that what you do is negative for society.
Uh-huh.
And I would love you, and I sort of genuinely thought at the beginning of this conversation, you would perhaps engage on some topics. And I thought there probably is some genuine conversation to be had.
Yeah.
But throughout this conversation, it's proved it to me that you are specifically more interested in getting a sort of, you're a grifter, you're a liar at me, rather than engage on, we haven't even talked about immigration. You invited me to talk about immigration.
I didn't invite you to talk about
Yeah, you did. In the message it said, your video, immigration and other things that affect Britain.
Yeah.
We have only talked about my video.
We've talked.
You can have it. You can have that if you want to. But what I'm saying is you make this stereotype and you play the stereotype. And you do it very well. It's very good. But it's negative to political discourse because your audience they don't talk about neoliberalism. They don't talk about the problems of privatization.
Did you not have a chance to talk about that for a good 20 minutes when we started?
But do you talk about that? Does your channel as a whole?
I don't have to talk about
things that matter to
the things that
lives.
you believe are important.
So you think
I despise this critique. I totally despise this critique.
Yeah.
You're supposed to talk about all the boring shit that nobody fucking cares about. Well, my content focuses exclusively on calling you a piece of shit.
Yes. Yeah. Go fuck yourself.
I know. It's so sad.
Yeah, why did you make that video? Why did you waste your time making a video telling lies about me instead of spending it
making another housing video?
Yeah,
yes.
All of these topics that you think are so important.
Yeah.
Why do you think it's so important? I think it's very important to call out people that say a bunch of bullshit about people on the internet. I think that is an important social good.
I guess Carl's in the chat. Look at this. We haven't had Carl in the chat in forever. What's up?
Mm-hmm.
What's up, Carl?
Hey now.
You know who Carl is, right?
Yes.
I'm in the wrong, but I believe that housing.
I know.
It's Sargon of Akkad. Come on.
Oh, I thought you meant Carl the llama from Llamas with Hats.
He says, do what I want, Adam. What do you want us to do?
Housing.
There you go.
Cost of living affect people's lives.
On the
you said that I think are important. We're humans of the same society. We live in Britain together.
You think neoliberals?
What affects people's lives are the same things, right?
You yourself conceded a little while ago that I've talked about housing quite a bit.
No, you haven't. I didn't say quite a bit. You did one video 5 to 6 years. No, you did 3 videos 5 to 6 years ago, and then you mentioned it in the Zoran Mondoni one, and then in your thing at Oxford Union.
No,
over
not at
222 videos.
Right. So I've talked about it quite a bit.
Quite a bit. What do you do? I would say trans. 53 videos on trans is quite a bit on trans.
It is.
I would say 5 to 6 videos. I would say 3 videos you did 5 to 6 years ago. I wouldn't call that quite a bit.
You're making the same arguments over and over. Have you noticed?
I would say at one point, 5 to 6 years ago, you used to have a genuine curiosity. I really do see that in those old videos, and there was some right-wing shit that I wouldn't agree with, but you did used to explore some ideas. I would say that was true.
Jimmy, do you think this is going well for you?
Terribly. But then you think about 2 to 3 years ago, you flipped. You saw.
Do you notice that?
Now, does he mean terribly well, or it's going terribly for him? Which is it?
I mean, it is going terribly for him. So
I know, but I think he means terribly well.
No.
I saw the financial benefit to talk about trans.
You see, you're mind reading. You're making things up again about it that you don't know.
Clear.
Well, see, all of these things.
Give me your defense then. What happened to you, bruv? You used to talk about things, and then all of a sudden you realise if I make 53 videos on trans.
Jimmy, the first thing that anyone watching this will notice, right, is that you've made a video in which you made a bunch of false claims.
What were the false claims?
Would you like me to read them to you again? Hold on, no, be quiet now.
The two jokes are false claims, or are they jokes? And then what was the last one?
The Donald Trump staying
so that one's incorrect.
That one's incorrect.
But the other two are jokes.
What about me using the hold on a second. Stop talking and listen to what I'm saying. What about the facade of me not critiquing the right, where I've critiqued the right over Ukraine, I've critiqued the woke right, as I call it, I've critiqued the right about their lack of understanding of the importance of inequality.
Here is cultural issues, right? Obviously, Jan 6, I'll give you that, it's a bit more than a cultural issue. But you perceive everything through culture. Have you ever talked about taxing rich people? Have you ever talked about the house crisis?
It's so funny that like the last 10 years has been primarily the far left putting everything through the lens of culture. Every issue is about racism and sexism and all the impacts that had, all the cultural influences that has on this kind of downstream effect, and how it mind controls everyone's brain. And then as soon as those cultural far left issues become unpopular, this guy's like, why are you talking about cultural issues? Why are you talking about economic issues?
Yeah.
Issues I want you to talk about.
There's a genocide going on. Why are we talking about this?
Exactly. It's so stupid. They're so full of shit.
I do think it's a full of shit response. That's why I despise it. And it's just total dodge.
Well, yeah. Listen, if someone wants to talk exclusively about economic issues, they're allowed to do that. It's a free country. You can talk about whatever you want. If someone wants to talk exclusively about cultural issues, they're allowed to do that. It's a free country. You can do whatever you want on YouTube. Well, not anything, but you have a lot of leeway of the topics you want to cover on YouTube.
Yes. Every time we talk about economic issues, though, people just bail. So
yes.
Your audience will want you to talk about certain things.
There you go. We're grifters. Grifters confirmed.
Well, it's not bad.
Yeah. So and you don't notice how the moment I make a good point, you just sidestep it.
You don't critique right wing. You don't critique right wing ideology. You might critique cultural topics. Fine, I'll give you that, maybe. But you don't critique right wing ideology on the economy. You don't critique the idea that having a really big billionaire class might be negative for people. You don't talk about these things.
Did you read my book?
No. Do you talk about that in there?
Do you know that I have a whole chapter about the importance of addressing inequality in my book?
And how do you propose to do it?
It's all in there. You can read it.
I've got to read the book to get your opinion on how to deal with inequality.
Exactly.
You're not going to just tell me how to deal with inequality.
Talk about the spirit level and other things that left-wing economists all like. I'll give you a copy of the book.
Yeah, please. Why don't you talk about this stuff more? This really fucking matters to people.
I wrote a chapter in a book that
Why do you not talk about it on your YouTube channel, which is clearly your big...
Are you not hearing yourself? I wrote a book that's a Sunday Times bestseller in which one of the chapters addresses the issues that you're talking about. So when you say, why don't you talk about it? I talked about it in a book.
But not on your YouTube channel that you've made 220.
The real question is, why don't the people who hate Konstantin post the clips of him talking about it on Reddit, right? That's the real question.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we all know the answer to that question is because obviously it goes against this narrative that they want to establish about Konstantin being a reactionary grifter. That's why they would never post those clips. And therefore, Jimmy would never see those clips. And nobody knows those clips exist in Jimmy's universe. So, obviously, that sucks. But Jimmy is the retard here.
22 videos on.
Not
about...
I really think you are really embarrassing yourself here.
Probably, man, but there will be a lot of people
you really
on my
are embarrassing yourself.
I'm
telling you that in the Sunday Times best-selling book, there's a whole chapter
YouTube channel.
and on our YouTube channel.
Go on, tell me about it.
Go and watch our interview with Liam Halligan.
You've made one
conversation with Liam Halligan.
And 53 on trans. One conversation on
inequality. Go and watch our interview with Liam Halligan. It's all in there.
So you're not going to just tell me, because you don't want to talk about inequality. Right. Why do you not want to talk about inequality? Do you think, for your audience, what's a more productive conversation?
Guys, are you watching this? I just told them that in my book, there's a chapter.
Oh, you're looking at
There's a chapter about inequality, and he's saying, why don't you talk about inequality?
On your YouTube channel, which is what you mainly do. You make hundreds of videos.
I sold many tens of thousands of copies of my book.
What's your opinion on inequality? How do you fix inequality?
Jimmy.
But that's what I mean. You don't deal with complex topics on your podcast.
Except in my book, which is where you might want to deal with complex topics, right?
So in a podcast, you wouldn't? You'd rather talk 53 videos on trans?
You really have come here with talking points. You're not able to go beyond them, are you?
No, definitely not.
Well, it's clear. Yeah. So just come back to the video you made, right? In which you made a bunch of, you called it bullshit claims.
Bullshit claims,
So
lies.
Are you going to withdraw that video?
For sure, yeah.
You're going to take it down?
No.
Well, you're going to keep lies up there on the internet.
For sure.
About other people that you know are lies.
Oh, big time.
Really? Why?
Terrible. A grifter, you could say.
Why would you keep something up that you now know is not true?
Because it is true. The general point that I'm making is that you basically do what you're doing right now, which is unable to engage on material factors that actually affect your audience lives. You'd rather have culture wars conversations endlessly because it...
Right. I'm sending Carl the link, so just to let you know.
Oh, okay.
Benefits you financially, and it's your whole model. And I genuinely thought, I thought more ideologically you were probably on this side. I genuinely thought probably this is what you really think are the big issues on society. But throughout this conversation, you haven't even been able to get in on any of these topics.
Notice how you're dodging everything I'm saying. I'm simply asking you, you're a content creator on YouTube who clearly believes in the importance of telling the truth, right? That's why you made a...
He sent me the link on Discord. That's why I was like... He said, you DM me in chat. And I was like, what? He didn't DM me.
What?
But obviously
Discord. Oh my
Discord,
God.
I know. Look, I never go to Discord, but...
Foul.
Video about people who are not telling the truth, in which you included me, right? And now that you've discovered that that video is full of untruths...
Full of untruths.
It is.
Full of
you are not going to take it down?
There's no underlying message or point that I've made that's been very evident in this interview. That you don't engage in anything substantive, you only engage in culture.
So you're going to double down?
Drama.
You're going to double down?
Big double down, yeah. Triple down.
On a video you now know is full of lies?
Full of lies. Is this a lie?
Now he's got to like full, I'm 5 years old here, and just repeating everything he's saying.
Well, he has nothing else to say. He's acknowledged that everything he said about Konstantin was wrong. He refuses to change that part of the video, to take that part of the video off. So what is he supposed to do? He's supposed to just act like a child, stamp his foot, do the rapido game. Keep trying to change the topic. Konstantin refuses to allow him to change the topic as he should.
Going full frat boy mode.
Yes.
This is what you're doing? The whole podcast, you haven't engaged in anything.
Wow.
Yeah, wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I think we kind of made the point.
Yeah.
How much money did you make from that video?
1,000?
1,000?
Probably.
It's a video that did 350,000 views. It's half an hour long. And it's got 3 ad integrations. So how much did you make from it? $5 grand at least?
5 billion?
5 grand at least, I would think.
I'd say 5 million.
So you made a video full of lies from which you made 5 grand. And you won't take it down. Is that not exactly what a grifter would do?
So am I a grifter?
Well, I'm asking you by your definition. I've never called you a grifter.
But you want me to say it?
I'm asking you, by your definition, are you a grifter?
Massively.
I think we can leave it there. Thanks for coming on.
Nice. That's the exact way to handle it. Yep. Thanks for coming on. You're a grifter. Now get the fuck out of the studio. Yep.
Hello, Carl. Really annoying though.
Hi! You just listened to a clip from the Sitch Adam Show. Most of the time we stream Sunday at 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern, and we stream during the week. Come join us. You guys are going to love it. It'll be great.